All right, welcome everyone to our meeting of September 27th, 2001. Call to order, roll call. Alderman Barber.
Here.
Steve Bobowski here. Rob.
Here.
Tim.
Here.
Barb.
Here.
Steve is. Tim.
Here.
Barb.
Here.
Steve is no longer. He's resigned. Is that correct? As well as Mike, right?
I gotta fix that.
All right. So that said, we have a quorum.
Yes.
All right. And we're good to go. All right. Pledge allegiance. Oh, all right. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I almost feel like we should say play ball, you know? Thank you. I almost feel like we should say play ball, you know? Just feels like it.
Okay, I'm going to let in Kate Brandino. She is pinch hitting for Brandy Horst, who was supposed to come in last month, and we had a snafu when she was coming into the wrong Zoom meeting. So I'm going to let Kate in, and she can do her presentation. Zoom meeting. So I'm going to let Kate in, and she can do her presentation on audience extension, which is a little bit similar to multi-view, but we'll find out how they're alike and different so that you can make a decision on whether you want this program, the one you saw last month, or both. Okay.
Just as a matter of procedure.
The one you saw last month, or both. Okay.
Just as a matter of procedure, should we open and close the citizen comment period?
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Are there any citizen comments? Going once, going twice. Do I have a motion to close?
So moved.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? All right, so moved.
Okay, here we go. Thank you, Rob.
Nice.
Happy vice leader.
It must be that.
Hi, Kate. Kate,
I can't hear any.
Can she read sign?
Hi, Kate.
Nope.
Is her voice on?
Yes.
Yeah, we heard her.
We heard her say, I can't hear
Can
you.
you hear me? Nope, she can't, obviously. Otherwise she'd be... All right, hang on a second. I got instructions on how to do this, and they did not help me from step one. Kate, can you hear me now? We can hear her. She can't hear us. And it doesn't look like...
Doesn't look like we have a speaker. Or a microphone, huh?
There's green. What is that about?
The camera. The camera is working.
Can we call her on a phone?
We could do that. Kate.
Hello?
Hello.
You are muted, it says right there.
There's a
Yep.
mute down
So we
at the
have to
bottom.
unmute.
Hello. Who's that? Who's that? Kate?
Cursor show up or not?
Kate?
You still got your mute on. She's not going to be
Is
there.
there?
I called it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Is there?
I called it. Can you hear me now?
Yes. We can hear you, but you can't hear us. Correct?
There, you're unmuted.
That's what I did before, and it
Okay.
didn't work. Can you hear us, Kate?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you now. Okay, yeah, I can hear you now.
All right.
I actually called in from the phone because it wasn't connecting for some reason.
So go ahead.
Okay, so sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, so sorry.
Hold on one second. We've got her on two different sounds.
Not sure if you're getting the echo too,
Can you
Kate,
hear
but-
now,
No,
Kate?
no.
Yes, sorry. It just came back saying I was muted and then unmuted.
Right. So you're in. Right. So you're in on a phone and you're in video. So I had to mute one of you. Otherwise, it's going to be reverberating. So we can hear
Okay.
you and you can hear us, right?
Yes.
Okay. Hi,
Perfect.
Kate.
Hey, Kate.
Hello.
Welcome to the EDC
Hi.
of Franklin.
All right.
Thank you. The program that we were going to, sorry, it is going back and forward. Hold on one second.
No, you're muted. We can't hear you now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I know what it is then. All right. Well, some of the programs that Callie and I were talking about and Brandy previously, it's still reverberating. So sorry, I apologize.
It's not reverberating.
So I hear myself in kind of a echo. The audience extension program is kind of like a retargeting program. About it, when you have a when you've gone shopping or you've gone and used the internet and looked for a particular product, like if you're looking at dog food or if you're looking at anything like that, and it pops up and says, "Really start picking up banners for those particular programs and things like that." With the audience extension that we've come up with, we are literally taking our audience and extending them to the site selectors, the workforce development, industry leadership people that are looking for Franklin and what y'all have to offer and what they can in turn bring to your community. So instead of you having to do a blanket program or a blanket campaign where you just shoot out a whole bunch of banner ads everywhere, we have dialed it in and gotten you the exact decision makers and the exact C-level executives, the site consultants, the real estate professionals, and everyone that is wanting to target your particular area and what you're looking for. Does any of that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Anybody that is involved with, anybody that is involved with our publication or the print version, we have their IP addresses, all of that kind of weird Big Brother stuff. And then anybody that goes to our website, which is around 12,000 unique monthly visitors, we track them. And once they go into the Google Ad network or in any kind of social media aspect, Facebook or Twitter, that's where the ads are served. When they're already in that mindset of clicking and researching and just wanting to, learn more about what y'all have to offer. Banner ads for you. There's no cost for that. We just want to make sure that you get, the best product and the best campaign and program that you are, able to get. The biggest thing that a lot of our destinations that have chosen this is that it has its own dashboard. You can track all the Google, whether it's coming from Facebook, which ads, the different sizes, the different banners are performing the best. We have an in-house team that actually tweaks that. So if one banner ad is performing better than the others, then we'll kind of take down that perform better for you, so that you get the best out of everything that we can in that regard. Usually we will kind of package this together with a digital directory listing on our website under your state, and then that would have news articles and other press releases, then we post those to the website for you as, additional added value so that everybody can kind of learn more about what's going on with your, area of Wisconsin. There's also various editorial parts that we can do. And what makes that unique is that it changes in each circulation of the print publication. Each issue focuses on about 5 or 6 different areas. So it's constantly growing and changing. And that also means that the circuit is constantly growing and changing. So while, some of our media says it's 12,000, it's really almost, 12,000 per issue, just about. And we have 4 issues a year, so you're getting, a massive reach, massive reach in the print publication aspect, which in turn drives the audience extension reach as well. Have y'all looked at doing any kind of marketing or advertising to bring in more awareness to what y'all have to offer in Franklin?
We have done an arc of ads with Site Selection Magazine, so we were in 5 of 6 issues in the course of a year. We are just going to print with an ad with Business Expansion Magazine, and we have another one coming up next month in November with Heartland.
Okay.
And we are looking at Multiview, which is very similar.
What are you doing with Multiview?
Right.
Just curiosity, sorry.
We just had a presentation, and the EDC is considering the program, and we were waiting to look at this program as well so that they could make a decision as to whether they wanted to do this one, that one, or both.
Okay. Now, I've just had several people also do some programs, social media campaigns, like e-newsletters and things like that, or if it was something completely different.
It would be...
Sorry, I'm not used to having Zoom calls and people looking at me. I'm fidgeting.
You're fine. And you're a trooper for dealing with that reverb. That makes me absolutely nuts. So I apologize for that, and thank you for sticking with us. But it's all about the cookies and the tracking and putting ads back in front of people. What I'm hearing is that audience extension, the source is your website, strictly, right?
It's our website, and we also have the IP addresses for the print publication. 50,000+ members of the print circulation, and then the website gets 12,000 unique monthly viewers, but it could be more because it's just kind of hard to track some of that sometimes. We get more than 12,000 see that, this one person came maybe 5 or 6 times, but we only count them as one time because of their IP address and their history. The audience extension aspect is that it's going to enhance everything that you're already doing. We have basically found the people that you're wanting to reach out to and connect with. It's just very dialed into the niche market of the site selectors and the consultants and the corporate executives, anybody and everybody that you're looking for in terms of agriculture, retail, manufacturing, workforce development. We've done a lot of these programs.
Recording in progress.
And a lot of them have excelled over the guaranteed impression amount. So it's seeing a lot of great results, and we've gotten a lot. It's seeing a lot of great results, and we've gotten a lot of people that are renewing. I also work in the sports tourism aspect as well with our sister publication, Sports Destination Management, and this has skyrocketed with them because it helps a lot of everybody was doing general tourism banner campaigns, just shooting it everywhere. But with the sports tourism side, we were able to get them that particular audience of event planners and tournament directors, all of those people that are looking for the tournament directors, all of those people that are looking for the next destination, next facility, next venue to host the event. The same thing can be said with trade and industry development on the economic development side, because we're finding those people that you need instead of doing it on a giant broad basis. Our audience is what sets us apart. It is similar to some of the site selection and business expansion, the things that you're already doing with them. But we're doing it on a higher level, on a vertical market that is constantly changing and growing. So being that it's a digital component, then it's going to constantly be this organic kind of living, breathing thing that you can continue to grow and develop as well.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I can now. Sorry.
What has been your experience with government in terms of development?
Well, it differs from state to state. It's each one is kind of uniquely positioned in terms of budget and things like that. Having this dashboard where you can we give you your dashboard with a link, and you can see the impression counts, the activity on an hourly basis. Really helps in presenting the ROI, the return on investment. And print is great and it looks nice. But it's something that you can see and feel and be a part and be proud of. But with digital, you're able to physically show everyone what you're spending those budget dollars on and how it's working into your government. And the state organizations have really enjoyed being able to have the dashboard with the audience extension component, so that they can that instant gratification of seeing the results right then and there.
Maybe put just a little bit different experience with maybe a municipality that's 30 to 50,000 people and have some developable land, and trying to draw businesses into that.
I don't have one specifically, because there's a lot. Through rural organizations that have wanted to bring in more agricultural awareness on a green aspect, and have wanted to get more involved with bringing in companies and farms that weren't using pesticides. Wanted to develop manufacturing and bringing in workforce development. We've helped them with doing what's called geofence, where we just kind of take like an area, a geographical area, and then serve the banner ads in that zip code or in that post and things like that, so that people driving back and forth or in that general area knew that a particular company was on a hiring surge or something to that effect. There was this teeny tiny town in Tennessee that does a weekend so that they can pay to have the utilities and the potholes taken care of. And they do that out of their economic development group. And just getting the awareness out about what the lake has to offer in terms of sports tourism has also brought an awareness of the availability of the sites that are available when a lot of their industries closed in the mid 2000s, when everything closed with real estate and everything in the 2000s. So Yeah, you don't have to be, you don't have to be a big giant area to have this work for you and then for it to be successful.
So Kate,
I'm not sure if that's exactly what you were asking.
well, my question is, do you have any case studies, if you will, of a area like Franklin with a certain, with our basic demographics that you guys have a success story? Here's what we did, here's what we spent, here's the results we got. Here's the results we got.
I don't have the reports right here. I do apologize. I've got, let me see. Well.
Kate, you can send it to me afterwards. I'm sure there will be
Yeah,
other
I
questions.
can. It won't let me screen share. I'm locked in with the Zoom call.
Hang on a second.
Sorry.
Hang on.
But yeah, no, I can.
There, you should be able to now.
Okay, yeah.
You should be able to now.
Okay, yeah. So let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I can send them to you after this. I do apologize. I'm trying to find them because it's locking me out because with the Zoom and everything in there, it won't let me screen. It's locking me out because with the Zoom and everything in there, it won't let me screen share or anything. Actually.
Okay, we don't need the slides. Just tell us, have you done something with a city like Franklin with our demographics? How much did a city like Franklin with our demographics? How much did they spend and what kind of results did they get?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, we have. I'm sorry. I was trying to find you an exact, plan and everything. I do apologize. Here in Alabama, we've done one with bring in their workforce. We did a 6-month campaign, and it was 170,000 impressions, and that was $6,000. We like to think of that as kind of like a good standard. 30,000 impressions a month will get you the best bang for your. We're trying to work on one with Tupelo right now because everyone thinks of them as kind of the casino world in the Gulf Coast. There's like 12 or 13 in Texas. There's a lot that we're doing. With y'all's particular demographics being kind of, we have worked more with workforce development, processing, and job fair announcements. But that has also gone hand in hand with the audience extension program as well. Since this is a new adventure, a new beginning with y'all, I might suggest, and it lasts for, it's $3,000. And that will get you, we call it the CPM, or CTR, the click-to ratio is about 1.2%. So you're going to be getting a lot of visibility with that, even though it's a smaller and shorter campaign. And then if you did like the results, which I have no doubt you would, then we could renew it, for an additional 3 months later in the year, and then also add in editorial pieces to complement what we're doing in the digital aspect.
Kate, I have a question. You talked about all of these impressions and that you can track that and we could see that. What happens then? How do we actually capture some of this information that we can then contact or follow up with some of these people who are looking at our ads?
With the impressions, there's not. It's just simply a look. It's just simply saying, hey, this is Franklin, this is what we have.
Okay.
With the clicks, when they actually click your URL and go to your to your website or whatever landing page you want it to go to, then you can have a form fill where it says, please let us know more about what you are looking for. Please tell us more about you, things of that nature. We even have at my in-house team can also set that up for you. If you wanted to save and have more kind of awareness of what's going on, we even have an option where if they call in a number, we can record, the information, if they called and left a message for more information. There's a lot of different other components. If you wanted to capture and retain some of that information in terms of the clicks, then yes, we can do that for you. We can help set up that website, that landing page, form fill, whatever it is that you're needing us to do for you to make this work, we can.
Okay.
And Kate, you said you are able to create the banner ads at no extra cost?
Yes.
Okay. If you have a couple...
For you, I don't know if you've ever paid attention in like some of the Facebook and the Twitter, sponsored content, if you will. It'll have, the copy, like 2 or 3 sentences, and then the ad. Excuse me. We'll do all of that for you. There's no cost because we understand that. I have big places in the north side of Chicago that because of time constraints and staffing, they have asked us to do the ads for them as well.
Okay. Yeah, if you have some examples of the creative that you can also send to Callie, that'd be welcomed.
Yeah.
Of one of the banner ads that you're creating for your customers?
It is. That's on our website. That one I think we did actually create or help to tweak for them for O'Fallon. That one is not rotating like that if you wanted your images to look like that. Most of the banner ads are going to, it's going to be all sizes, to be honest with you, because there's 10 different sizes. That one, that way big one up at the top is the more traditional size. Yeah, that big, long, thick banner.
Oh, is this all one?
We also have there as well, or there's big, giant, fat, thick ones that go in the middle of the pages. It just depends on wherever the person is searching and clicking around. But yeah, we can do all of the banners. If you wanted them to kind of rotate and have like images that come up and down, kind of like this one up here is doing, the locate and expand, we can do that as well. Yes.
Okay. So then hypothetically, when I go to other websites, some of these banner ads should follow me in my internet. Tracking, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no. If they have signed up for audience extension, if they're part of that group, then yes, they could. Excuse me, because we're following. Yes, they could. Excuse me, because we're following you now. Traditionally, retargeting would mean that you would have to go to, the Franklin website and then go traipsing around, and then your Franklin banners would follow you down, and then your Franklin banners would follow you that way. With us, it's the economic development directors are going outside without having to go to your website first to get served your banner ad. This way, they don't have to already know about you to be targeted and influenced by your presence with the banner ads.
Okay. Does that make sense to everybody?
Mm-hmm. It does.
Okay.
It's like reverse shopping.
Yes.
They don't know that they want you, but then
Yes.
they don't know that they want you, but then they're told that they do because they've been to somewhere about economic development. Because people aren't going to go to trade and industry development just to do it. It's a very specific, very platform-oriented website. Platform-oriented website. You wouldn't just go there to look up, what's happening in Franklin or what's happening with, Jefferson County, Tennessee. But if you wanted to know about what's happening with the economic development of Franklin, or Jefferson County, Tennessee, then yes, then you would go to this website.
Okay.
Good.
Anybody else?
Okay, so I'm going to send over examples. Examples of the banner ad materials and things like that, the dashboard so that y'all can see it, and maybe some case studies on other destinations that we've done, this for that are close to your demographics. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Okay, and what else can I get for y'all?
That's okay.
Yeah.
We're
thank
good.
you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Oh, no, thank you for having me. Sorry about all the
No, it's on our end, I'm
reverberations
sure.
and everything.
We're all good. Thank you. You're a good sport.
All right, thank y'all. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank
And
you.
I'll get that over to you, Callie, tomorrow. And
Okay.
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.
Recording.
I gotta work on that. Hello, folks.
Yeah.
I think our next agenda item is here.
Okay.
Oh.
Or should we position?
We've got some
Yeah.
chairs over there for you. Apologies for the tight room. We don't usually get company. The chairs have wheels.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll trade you places. So folks, this is Regulo Martinez. He is a planner here with the City of Franklin, and he has been working with Custom Fabricating on their project. And you're welcome to sit down and draw. Yeah,
Before
we
we
need
do
to
that,
change to-
perhaps y'all ought to know who we are. I'm Steve Lebowski.
I'm Rob Gage.
I'm Barbara Waster.
I'm Mike Barber, Alderman Mike Barber from the 5th District, Franklin.
Tim Wachter.
And you all are?
Henry Asik with Custom Fabrication.
And Lori Asa.
Okay. Part of the family.
She's the president.
Yeah, I got you.
And I'm
Okay.
Jeremy Flynn with MSI General, the architect and contractor for the project.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome.
Appreciate
I love technology.
No, you don't.
They don't love me.
You read some of the supporting documents, so maybe you could tell us a little bit about your business and how things are going for you.
Sure. It's really hard to explain. I've been trying to do it for 30 years for now, trying to explain to my own mother what we do. So to summarize it, we started out as a masking company. So what that means is we sell mask coating plating. For example, one of our customers is cross street from us, Home Tech of Wisconsin. But we deal with companies like Oshkosh Defense, Truck Bicycle, John Deere, Lockheed Martin, SpaceX, Tesla. So we're all over the country, Canada, Mexico as well. This coming out of this in a company emailed last week. Last April, I think, was our worst month in 5 years. And then now, since then, we have had, this will be our best year ever. We've had 2 of our best months this year already, and our growth rate is somewhere just under 40% for the year. So,
Congratulations.
21st year in business. Figure something out, we're at capacity space-wise.
it. And what are y'all sales in a year?
Well, this year will probably be somewhere around 14+ million. So last year we were just under 10. So.
And this new expansion will allow you to grow to about how big?
That's a good question. I would say 25 to 30 million comfortably in there.
What really couldn't get there without this expansion?
No, I need more equipment.
And how many employees do you have?
We're just under 50, but we have locations. We're in Los Angeles, we're in Houston as other facilities. Here in Wisconsin, I think we're probably rural facilities. Here in Wisconsin, I think we're probably rural mid-30s. Which is not, well, in today's climate, it fluctuates, it seems like every other week. So we're somewhere around low 30s to mid-30s. With this expansion, we probably hire at about 10 people as fast as I could get spots. Expansion, we probably hire at about 10 people as fast as I could get spots to fill.
Do you anticipate expanding those other locations as well?
It's a possibility. I mean, California has the ability to add on more people already. It's just right now in our California location, it's more people already. It's just right now in our California location, their climate's a lot different than ours here in the Wisconsin area. We deal primarily more automotive, some electronics, a lot of agriculture, and out there it's a lot of aerospace, which has really been hammered with by the labor shortages and materials not being able to come in, so by the labor shortages and materials not being able to come in. So some of our largest customers out there have been laying people off.
I see what it does.
So it's a possibility. We actually tripled our employee count out there when we were in a smaller facility when we moved to the bigger one. We were in a smaller facility when we moved to the bigger one. We tripled our overhead there and started manufacturing out of that facility. So the weirdest thing is salary is less out in California than it is here, which
I'm sorry, I missed that.
in Wisconsin.
Really?
Yeah, the labor is cheaper.
Hard to believe.
Yeah, that is.
And get them to come to work though.
Yeah, well, surfing and everything else. Gotcha. I'm looking at number 8 in this site plan amendment, and it says that you're agreeing not. Is that right?
Yes, we can adjust that. There was one other engineering comment on the curb cut to the north as well. It needs to be slightly pushed south in order to avoid a electrical vault that's for the city lights. So we'll be making both those adjustments.
In best for you guys, or is this something we, the city, want to do?
That's what the city wants to do.
Okay.
I do worry that narrowing is going to make it harder for semi trucks to back up. So,
Yeah, I would think so.
I mean, if we didn't have to do it, I wouldn't want to do it. To
Okay.
answer that question. So.
Through and why certain things have to happen in a certain way on the site.
Sure.
And then we'll have more time for Q&A.
Okay, so good evening. The ordinance of the Franklin Industrial Park requires any new building or building addition to go to the EDC for approval. That is a building addition. So it's an expansion of the existing building. We can see the area of the existing building and the proposed addition to the north. It looks that it's bigger because of the perspective, but it's actually similar size. The existing building is approximately 30,000 square feet. Building is approximately 30,000 square feet, and the addition is 32,000 square feet. The use is basically office, warehousing, and as you described, manufacturing of rubber gasket, rubber products, tapes. So those are permitted uses in the Franklin tapes. So those are permitted uses in the Franklin Industrial Park. Other site improvement includes 25 parking spaces, loading docks, and 2 driveways. I would like to touch on the loading docks. Because these are the existing loading docks, and here we can see the 3 proposed loading docks. So according to the ordinance, it recommends that the loading areas to be located either in the side or the rear of the building, because in this case they have the existing loading docks located visible to the street, they are proposing or they are requesting to have that permission to have the new loading areas in front of the building. So I don't know if Jeremy, if you want to touch on that.
Sure, we did a little comment on there. Obviously, when you have a corner building, you don't have a front, right? So you have two fronts. So So we're forced to have the front, which is actually the address, which is on, what's the Oak?
55.
Yeah, Oakwood Park is the main road, which is the entrance to the existing building. So when it was designed originally, then on the northwest, north-south street, that is considered the side, right? So the front is the address, which is the Oakwood, and then that's the side. So we just replicated exactly what is happening there now, which is loading docks on that street side. There's no other access to any other sides of the building to have docks or even road access to those other sides.
Okay, so could you show that to us again, regular, please?
Which one?
Well, I would, show that to us again, regular, please?
Which one?
Well, I would, the access. He just described since there's two faces, yeah, so,
This is the existing buildings,
yeah.
and the existing loading docks are located here. So this
Okay.
is the new building, well, the new addition,
Yeah,
and with the, this is the new building, well, the new addition,
yeah,
and with the loading docks here next to the existing loading docks. So here, you can see
That's the best.
existing loading docks and new loading docks.
okay, that looks right to me. Is that a problem for you guys, or is that good?
No, it was just regular. It was just regular had asked me to put it into the description because of
Okay.
because it's a corner lot. It has a unique circumstance where it can't be on the side because
Yeah.
it has two fronts, kind of.
Right.
Okay.
With regards to the two driveway, this one to the north, asking to shift the driveway location because of some electrical bolts located over there.
Just slightly. I think it won't be. It'll be like 6 or 8 feet maybe to the south, so it'll just be shifted slightly.
And the other driveway, the other proposed driveway, is the maximum width is 24 feet according to the ordinance. It's now as proposed 41, so they will need to reduce the width of the drive. So the approval.
Is everybody's 24, or is this just these guys were asking?
24 for non-residential, with wider driveway.
Have they done that anywhere? 24 seems small to me, and it just, and maybe we can't, maybe this group can't do, but semis driving over grass doesn't seem like a good idea, but maybe I'm wrong. I mean,
They do that now, because my driveway is too small, the current one I have, they do it already. It's gonna happen.
So that other curb cut in comparison, just south of that one. So there's actually 3. That one is 24, so that would be the similar size.
And that's tight, so we asked the drivers not to pull into the companies across the street, because if they could, they would drive right into that and reverse in. And then the other thing about making that apron smaller coming in, you'll notice that it doesn't align straight up with the dock doors, so now they have to come in on an angle. And actually, if one semi's in there, having 2 other dock doors is kind of pointless, because no other semi is going to be able to jackknife and then come in, because it came back in straight.
so it's not optimal.
Not for me, it's not. It doesn't, a truck driver ain't gonna like it, that's for sure. I'll put it that way. I'll speak on their behalf. They're not gonna like it.
And how long is the truck driver usually there, or the truck? Depends.
We don't really, it's not like a trailer will sit there for 2 to 6 skids back and forth. We'll have them coming and going.
But meanwhile, you have 2 doors that aren't being used. Is that what you're saying? That one, if one truck is in there, the others.
Right
Can't
now,
be
no,
used.
they'll go in there. That's where my grass gets beat
Oh,
out.
I see.
Oh yeah, they'll just jump the trailer right off the curb.
Okay.
So.
So with the condition that they will need to reduce the driveway or request to the plan commission to approve this width.
Yeah, wider, you mean? That
Yes.
would be the,
Yeah, the wider driveway. Yeah. They will need to get to request that to the plan commission because
Can we recommend that
make a like a
to the planning
recommendation
commission?
so the plan commission can
No,
get that
that
input from the
would be
EDC.
our thoughts.
Mhm.
Can I ask,
I guess-
other than the fact that it's already in the ordinance, is there any good reason why it is now 24 feet rather than a more?
I think the reason is to set like a too wide.
Can you go back to the front picture? Because, I mean, this is based on aesthetics.
Right,
Yeah.
if you hold down the control key and then use your roller on the mouse, you can make it bigger and smaller, so.
So the driveway would, I mean, do we see the driveway out of this? Yeah. I mean, do we see the driveway out of this? Yes.
You can't, you're actually on
Yeah.
the north one in that view.
This is the north one, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess from your perspective,
Is there any
it'll slow
other
things
back
up if we ask to make it
driveway?
42. You know, that kind of deal.
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, it seems more practical.
Well,
and
how
then-
much is it gonna slow it up?
And it seems more practical.
Well,
and
how
then-
much is it gonna slow it up?
How much is it gonna slow it up? I don't know. It could take a
That's what
long
I mean.
time.
The question is.
Yeah, is it 6 months?
Would you know how long it's gonna take for the planning commission to review that or not?
Could be about 30 days.
Well,
Could be.
About some more. Could be about 30 days.
well,
Could be.
About some more.
So let's go on the upper end 3 times and make it 3 months. Is it worth 3 months for you? Or do you just want to run over the grass?
yeah,
Because I got to
guess
tell you, I mean,
Yeah.
if anybody here has driven a semi, and I have, it's awful. I've driven a semi, and I have, it's awful. I don't back up well. So, but of course, that's not what I do every day. But still, now if you wipe out 2 of them, I don't know. Just seems. I understand the aesthetics.
Well, we have to, the EDC has to move this forward.
Yeah,
Right, correct.
So we can just, EDC has to move this forward.
yeah.
Right, correct.
So we can just go ahead and, as our recommendation, and they're gonna do it in their due time anyway.
Okay.
You know, they're gonna do it as the due process of when it can get on their agenda. That our recommendation wouldn't affect that in any way.
No, it's just a recommendation. They will have the decision.
Okay.
But if we're gonna flow chart this, if the EDC approves this as is this evening, it does not go to plan commission. It's done. Right?
But they will need to reduce the driveway to meet the ordinance
Right,
standards.
and that's part of the resolution that
Mhm.
if they approve
Yep.
it, okay. And if commission who makes a decision, then does it come back to the EDC
No,
after
no,
that?
no.
So the EDC is only the final authority if no changes are made to the resolution.
Correct. They will need to go to the plan commission only for the wider driveway.
Okay.
That's it.
And anything else that might come up for special use.
Correct. Yeah, but not special use required for this project. I will continue on the landscaping.
Well, before we do that, what do you guys want to do? 42, or you want to go 24? Roll the dice.
I prefer to, one way or the other, something has to be addressed. If we make, when it's not even lined up with the dock doors as is, I might as well just put one dock door and not waste the 10 grand for every dock door I got to put in that can't be used anyways then.
Well, that's
that
but that's not
doesn't
the
make
point.
sense.
Our goal is to help you be
Yeah,
profitable.
no, I'd rather
so
wait
that
it
you
out.
put on 2 more additions.
I'd rather wait it out.
Okay.
So what we can do is we could bring, so we have time to then pursue the plan commission submittal after this is, so we'll make those changes on the plan and submit it, and we'll move forward. We're not going to make those curb cuts now. We'll submit the revised to the plan commission then,
Okay.
and roll the dice is what you, and I mean, really, we can get it.
But I don't think
Resolved.
that's what Callie just said.
Yeah,
Callie
I'm a little
suggesting.
confused. Regular, can you walk us through the process tonight? If the EDC wants the company to have an opportunity to expand their drive width, what action should they take this evening?
For the EDC,
Yeah.
just adopt the. For the EDC, just adopt the resolution as presented because there is a condition that the resolution is not approving the driveway.
Ah, you carved that out.
Right. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's if you look into your resolution, is condition number. Yeah. It's if you look into your resolution, is condition number 8. unless a greater distance is approved by the plan commission.
Okay. Does that make sense to everybody? What you're being, does that make sense to everybody? What you're being asked to do?
No, it says that we're not approving it to exceed 24. And this group is saying we do want it to be
We
42.
don't have the choice to make that decision, so.
Our recommendation with it would be to allow it.
Right.
But how can we put,
Recommendation with it would be to allow it.
Right.
but how can we put that in here? Can we?
Just-
And you're saying we can't?
Because the authority
Sure.
to allow for a wider driveway is to the plan commission.
Okay, so where do we put the recommendation, I think is the question then.
In the motion,
Yeah,
The question then.
in the motion,
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what you do.
Okay, can I have a motion?
So moved.
okay. Let's be really
You can't so
clear.
move.
Let's be clear.
Do we have a footprint that would include the expansion? Assuming they're moving this way, and this gets changed?
oh, that's the natural resource protection plan only for the existing
Okay.
conditions.
But I'm assuming they're moving this way,
Right, correct.
and this, they want to expand this driveway this way.
Driveway. One of the driveway that is this one is it's too wide according to the ordinance. Ordinance maximum is 24 and this 41.
And this is what is 24 here?
That's the existing. Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
a picture of that.
Well, here the plan. Here.
I have a large scale site.
Yeah.
I think it's the second or third page.
The one that says site.
There you go. So
Well,
this is existing.
right.
Right.
So that's the one that is 24. Question.
So regularly, essentially then, the motion would be to approve the resolution with the recommendation that the plan commission consider
Can I see the 41?
Well, I guess
condition number
I'd like
eight.
to see it
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
back here.
Did everybody catch that?
That's just
Okay.
the site map, kind of thing about the footprint.
Yeah.
I just wonder what that does here. Like if we're gonna go this way, what does the new driveway look like given this
Okay.
cutout? So,
With a recommendation to increase it to 41 or something, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think we'd probably get more traction with the plan commission if we simply asked them to consider widening it without giving them a number to limit it to. That way they have the discretion of going anywhere from 24 up to,
41 feet.
okay,
I
Shown in
include the
plans.
41.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did-
okay.
That's giving them what they want, and I don't see why that is gonna affect anything major.
Okay.
And I would think it helps them.
Yeah.
And the goal is to help them be profitable and do things without, okay, so we got a game plan? Do we have to do a,
Well, I didn't hear a formal motion.
so can I?
One second.
a
Tim
motion?
made the motion.
No, he just approved it.
You approved the amendment to the motion, Tim.
Well, there's no,
Oh, well, don't we have to, isn't that
There is a
motion that
motion.
she talked about approving the entire?
plan commission that they reconsider condition number 8 to allow it to be widened to 41 feet.
Right.
But my point is, are we done with discussion then?
No, I guess not. We need to go do the.
Well, we need
say
we need a
we're-
motion and a second, and then we can have additional discussion.
Well, no, he wants to talk about landscaping and everything else first, right? Because that's,
Don't you have
what
to-
we're saying,
There's a motion and a second, and then you discuss the resolution. So after there's a motion on the floor
Then
that
we
has
vote
been
on it.
seconded, then you talk about all the conditions.
Yes.
okay?
Well, I have
So-
some additional points in the presentation just to finish
Okay,
the
keep
presentation.
going.
Yes.
Keep on
Why
going.
don't you go on with that?
Okay. Yeah, with regard to the landscaping, staff, we don't have any issues because they are removing 10 trees, but they're replanting with another new 10 trees, so they will meet the quantity requirement for landscaping.
What kind of trees?
Um,
One reason I say that is there's a couple that are infected right now. Isn't it the spruce that are infected? I say there's a couple that are infected right now. Isn't it the spruce that are infected or whatever it is?
The city has a naturalist who keeps a running list of acceptable trees for
Okay.
various developments.
Oh,
So
sorry.
I would imagine they probably don't have spruce on the list right now for that reason.
Or ash.
I'm not sure.
Oh, that,
Yeah.
you know what?
Spruce on the list right now for that reason.
Or ash.
I'm not sure.
Oh, that,
Yeah.
you know what? It was the ash.
It's the ash.
You're right, yeah,
And
thank
that's
you.
all we have right now are ash trees, and I've been spraying those trees every other year to, and those beetles just keep, every year I gotta cut another one down.
Yeah, they come fast though.
I bring them in
Yeah.
masses.
So are you recommending ashes?
No.
Fast
I
though.
bring them in
Yeah.
masses.
So are you recommending ashes?
No.
No.
Oh, good. No, I'm doing everybody a favor.
We're going to
by
bat
getting
for you,
rid of
don't be
those
throwing
trees
ashes
and
out there,
adding
baby.
better trees.
Burn those.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have any glasses. I'm not-
So yeah, landscape plan.
I don't have any glasses. I'm not-
So yeah, landscape plan.
They're
sheet,
not ashes, though.
105. So you can see the whole list.
Yeah.
So includes like elm, elm,
Oh, you better have some.
poplar, Japanese tree, lilac,
Those are nice.
lilac,
Those are nice.
spruce, juniper.
Okay.
Good.
Regarding the architecture, the primary material is concrete block, so that's an accepted material in the plan development district. With regards to natural resources, there is a small wetland over there that has been deemed exempt by the DNR from the state wetland regulations. They are just waiting to get the federal jurisdictional determination, so that's included as a condition.
Is that a retention?
Artificial wetland, according to the
Is there anything that requires a retention pond with the expansion?
Oh, well, if you look here, here's the area for the dry pond,
Okay.
but it's not related to the wetland.
No.
I'm recommending approval with the conditions that are in the resolution. I'm happy to answer any questions, any additional questions.
And I think I saw in here that the facade, the roof, everything was gonna match up, so it didn't look like kind of a Frankenstein building.
So what they're doing is they're really making a huge investment in their existing and doing everything. They're actually rehabbing the existing building too. So they are replacing every window, every door, painting it, replacing the coping on the roof so that it's a cohesive building and it looks like a brand new building when they're done. So they
Very good.
put a lot of money into doing that so that it appears as a building because all the windows, the paint, the coping on the top, everything will be new. And even the docks, the dock doors, the pads around, every one of those will be replaced, so they're all new pads and they're all sort of look cohesive.
Okay, so what does the new building cost, and what is the cost to refurbish, remodel the existing? The cost to refurbish, remodel the existing?
I didn't bring
I don't know that I have an exact breakdown, because
That's all right.
we didn't include like painting the exterior of the old building. We have a budget in there, but, I think round numbers, we are real close to just under $4 million when it's all said and done.
They're
right?
just, I think the existing building, the painting and the new windows, quote me on about 370
Plus the upstairs.
plus
paint.
so about 370,000, 70
Plus the upstairs.
plus
paint.
so about 370,000 just on the rehab of that area, and then he's building on some of the office upstairs as well. So the existing mezzanine, he's turning into additional office space for associates.
And then ripping out all the bathrooms on the old side too. And putting in much larger ones.
Air conditioning on the top?
The mezzanine area will all be, yeah, it will have air conditioning up
The
there.
new
The
building,
units.
the new building will not have any on it initially.
Oh, okay.
It'll be planned for future. There's a mezzanine in the new space as well that's,
Okay.
it'll be planned for future. There's a mezzanine in the new space as well, that square kind of to the top.
Okay.
That'll be storage for now, but with the potential in the future, if it would want to be built out for additional offices, it could be below and above, so that we're building in that flexibility for him to expand within his footprint, within his footprint, should he choose to do so. Right now, he needs it as storage, but in the future, if he needed it as office, that it'll be designed so it could accept rooftop units for that, for air conditioning. But right now, he doesn't have any rooftop air conditioning units on the addition.
So then it's not going to be,
Air conditioning units on the addition.
so then it's not going to be air conditioning.
It is not,
Okay.
not the addition.
Right.
Originally, we were gonna build offices right away in the new building, and then we decided we wanted to put in offices upstairs in our current mezzanine. So they're getting the rooftop AC unit to help for them. So we just flipped the plans from the new building to our existing, to have more keep people closer together is what our thought was, versus having them in a quarter mile gather is what our thought was, versus having them in a quarter mile walk away from everybody.
So regular, there's nothing else? No. Okay, so now we could have a proposal? Yeah? You want to go ahead and,
What she said.
yeah,
So,
you want to go ahead and,
What she said.
yeah.
so you're making a motion, Tim,
Yes.
to approve the resolution and make a recommendation regarding condition number 8 to widen the driveway to 41 feet.
Correct.
Okay?
Yeah, a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Just
Aye.
one question, does that come before council then, once the
No.
plan commission?
Only plan commission.
And just an FYI for future reference, had you just approved the resolution as is with no recommendations, it would be done as of tonight.
Yep.
Just
But
for
they-
future reference.
Okay.
Your
And so
choice
then
is
there
to
would not be the
roll the dice.
opportunity to come back for 41.
Right, while Plan Commission considered the EDC's recommendation was an astute one because in some cases, the applicant may not have the luxury of that time and they would have to make a decision now. Do they want to just move forward with what they're getting or do they want to push the envelope, right?
Yeah,
So in this case, hopefully that'll work out
yeah.
with the EDC.
With not doing that curb cut till spring, most likely, so I think that
Would-
that's,
And
not that I want to
worst
delay it, but I'd say, but we can, 30 days I don't think will hinder us. We want to start the project right away, so we need to move forward with adjusting the plan to be in compliance, because we actually do want to start, we want to start as soon as we get in the footings and start building. But this is something that we won't be able to do in the winter, so this would be, those curb cuts would be in the spring. So
Would it make any difference if Alderman Barber seconded?
All in favor? Say aye. Aye. Motion passed.
So just as another really quick blueprint to begin the project and move forward, and the company has applied for one of the WEDC's bounce back grants, and we were waiting for the results of tonight because the city will provide a support letter to the company that basically verifies their eligibility for the grant and basically be pointing out that the EDC has made their approval tonight. So now they'll be moving forward with that grant program. So
And how much of the grant?
Excellent.
How much is that worth?
um, okay.
That's
$10,000.
$1 million just to.
Yeah, I
A
thought.
doctor, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's a
There you
dock
go.
door. There you go.
Or maybe a wider driveway
thank you for doing that, by the way, and for, I know that.
is represented in these programs.
Yes.
You got duplicated it, yeah.
You are welcome to stay for the meeting if you like, or you certainly can leave at your discretion.
I think we'll go.
Thank
Thank you all for your
You bet.
time.
Good luck to you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Good luck.
Nick.
Thanks for
Good luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Oh, Regulo? I believe this is yours, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, we'll follow up. Okay.
And then I'm working with Tyler.
Okay.
By the way, I think that was the right decision, guys.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Plan Commission
I think
can
that
push
was a very
back
good
for whatever
approach.
reason if they don't want to, but you've given them an opportunity.
Yeah, I'm just saying from a truck standpoint. I mean,
Yeah, it's
it makes, you know.
So before you guys leave, I need chair and vice chair signatures on the resolution so I don't have to drag you back in at a later
Sure.
date.
Yeah, thank you.
They want to roll the dice, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't hurt anything. No, still
Yeah,
does
I don't know. It didn't seem like that big. I mean, they
No.
can start the project and then they just go from
It all moves, it
worst
all moves
it
forward.
goes is 24 feet, right?
And as you know, it is planning staff's responsibility to apply the laws of the city as written,
yeah.
and then it's only up to the laws of the city as written,
yeah.
and then it's only up to the plan commission or the council to approve any deviations from that standard. So Regular's job is like a cop.
Yeah.
Whether he agrees with the laws or
Doesn't
not,
matter.
he has to interpret and apply them as written, which is why the UDO,
matter.
he has to interpret and apply them as written, which is why the UDO upgrade is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he did a good job too.
Yeah, he did. I'll let him know that. Compliments are few and far between for staff.
Yeah, I'm
so
sure.
He'll
Yeah.
appreciate hearing that.
He explained it well then.
Yeah, yeah. He's a smart guy. Okay. Yeah, yeah. He's a smart guy. Okay.
My ball game. Okay, so now we're going to review Multiview and a B2B digital marketing tool. I guess that's probably in concert with number 3, which is due north.
Yes.
I think the first question is do we do any 3, which is due north.
Yes.
I think the first question is do we do anything, and and then if so, how much, and if so, with who? Is that pretty well captured? Yeah. Okay.
And what kind of money do we have in the budget in either case?
So, for the third,
do we have in the budget in either case?
so for the third year in a row, my budget has been slashed. I have $56,500 for every non-personnel item that you can possibly imagine. I had budgeted $10,000 for the audience extension because Brandy had given me a range, and $10,000 seems number to use. But after talking with Kate, clearly we can start with a $3,000 package. The multi-view, his minimum was $18,000 for a year. But if you wanted to dip your toe in the water and go month by month, I would negotiate that we would have an out clause with a 1 month, provided that it just wasn't your cup of tea as a commission, and it just wasn't meeting the needs that you had anticipated. Or you can ask me to go back and get some additional information, and at the meeting in October, bring back like a side-by-side comparison with impressions and costs. If you wanted to see it broken down further that way, you can say no thank you to both of them, or you can pick one or the other. My recommendation would be, let's try both of them. $3,000 for 3 months, $1,000 a month. That's $12,000 a year. It's way cheaper. Has more points of origin to pull, to grab a hold of people for tracking.
See, that's what I was thinking. Well, if I remember their presentation, this one here is it's kind of limited.
It's
to
a
just
little
their-
narrower,
Right.
Yeah.
but they're literally targeting site selectors, which are like the ones with if you can.
Would we want to, well, I would think we wouldn't want to do them both at the same time. Because I don't think we have as, you may not have as good of a sense of which one is successful if you're doing them both at the same time. Maybe do one for 3 months, next one for 3 months.
Yeah.
See what.
Be targeted a little bit better for what we were talking about. But you also talked about this expanding base with the numbers and who's in it. Does the first guy do that too? Is that a static kind of base at that point? Or is it more of a dynamic base that she was describing?
I don't have expertise in this, so I can help manage the project in terms of trying to compare apples to apples, but I would need to go back and have more in-depth conversations with both of them, which I'm happy to do. And we still have time. There's no rush. There's no reason why you have to make a decision tonight. It's September. Month it to November, and we would still have time to be ready to be up and running by January 1.
Which budget year would we be?
This would be for 2022.
Okay, so we'd be using that money from 22.
Unless-
There's nothing left in 21.
Unless you wanted to try Trade and Industry Journal for the last 3 months of 2020, I think which I can do momentarily when we're doing some other
Because
things.
if you don't spend your budget for 21, it disappears.
Yes, usually.
Yes,
Well,
if I
it's
have enough.
earmarked for something, right?
Yeah,
I think
it's
we've
earmarked.
hit that the last couple of years.
Yeah, And I can do a carry forward, but it has to be for a specific purpose. And
Right.
honestly, it has to be, really haven't sat down to figure out what I think I'm going to have left at the end of the year, since I've got a whole quarter to go.
So, but you said you could spend some yet this year.
I think so. I don't mean to be rude, but I don't want to be sharing all the personnel budget stuff with you too. It's just a little too much TMI for an EDC meeting. But give me just a second, and I will tell you where we stand and whether there's going to be money for that.
Would you prefer to carry it forward to specific, would you prefer to carry it forward to specific,
Depends on how much I have left. Yeah. I did a carry forward year, was it this year or year before last? I was going to do a display case in the lobby, and then COVID hit, and I didn't do any of that stuff.
So that's gone.
Yeah, I kind of got absorbed into the next year's budget, but I'm not really sure how that happened, where it went. Except that I know it added like 11,000 to my budget. It just kind of got spread across a number of line items. Except that I know it added like 11,000 to my budget. It just kind of got spread across a number of line items. Okay, so let me.
Steve, could you ring the cowbell? Steve, could you ring the cowbell while you're sitting?
Yeah, I'm wondering, what is with Bo Nose? Is that our milkman?
Yeah, hang on a second.
But Bo knows soccer, is that what that says?
Well, I didn't hear Bo. Well, I didn't hear Bo. I mean, this is the wonderful Bo Jackson look, you know, with the bat behind him. That and Bo Knows, which was great.
I like it. I think it's all the different things that
Bo knows it all.
has, right? The bike trails, the soccer, the baseballs.
Yeah, and then there's skiing. Yeah, Bo knows it all.
I've got I can make it work. If you guys wanted to spend $3,000 and try out Trade and Industry Journal, we've got it. I can make that work, and then you can decide. You know, at next month's meeting, if you want to look at the multi-view program for next data by then, to kind of be a little more educated on exactly what we're getting into, exactly what results we should be looking for. I'm kind of learning right along with you guys on this one, and I learn best through experience.
Right, so going back to the different pieces, we have $3,000 to spend.
Make it happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the question is where we spend it, and you were suggesting we go with the guys who presented today, right?
Kate, who presented for Trade and Industry Journal, yes, because she suggested a $3,000 3-month program.
November, December?
Yeah.
That would give us some way to look at this thing and start to monitor it and see what we're seeing too.
I agree.
My concern is she has no experience in doing this, at least when we asked her 2-3 different directions. Honestly, I thought her presentation was weak.
It was something happened,
Yeah.
and Kate wouldn't really tell me, but she called me late last week and said Brandy is not available. I don't know if she got fired or she got another job. Something happened. And Kate's pinch hitting. I don't think this is her bailiwick. I don't think this is what she does. I think she's like an analyst or something.
And that may be true, but she didn't have who they've done work with. They would need to get somebody else in here to tell us, because 75,000 impressions to the wrong people don't matter.
It would be coming out of the trade. So in the presentation, it comes out of the Trade and Industry Journal. Site selectors who actually go to the website to read the publication's online version. My understanding is whether or not they click on it, we now are like a little bug that's attached to them, and then when they go somewhere else on the internet, our banner ad follows them from place to place. So let's say they go out on Amazon. Well, Amazon's a bad idea. Yahoo, they go somewhere, and then our banner ad will show up because the cookie attaches to them, and it follows their internet activity.
And is that not the same that happens with multi-view?
I think
They
so.
are
I
the
think
same,
it's
but the
exactly-
price difference is really big. We don't know what all the points of Wall Street Journal that it's strictly their own products, due north products. So you have to start with something there. And then with Multiview, I don't know which websites they're using to attach the cookie to you.
So we don't really know multi-view.
Yeah.
I think we need to do a little more research.
Which I can absolutely do, but that still leaves a question for some of you. Some of you wanted to try this anyway, so I guess I'm looking for some direction from the commission what you want to do.
I said, I kind of second Steve here that I don't necessarily trust all the things she said because she was just, you know,
Everywhere.
not experienced, and then she jumped from like
Here, there.
the
couldn't
print
put this
and
slide.
the,
I
and
don't know
so
what's happening there.
I just think it's worth. I'm not even sure the $3,000 thing is accurate based on her. I'm not even sure the $3,000 thing is accurate based on her presentation, or that they would help us create the banner ads for no cost. Like all those things, just I'm skeptical she's accurate. So
Okay, well,
I'm not.
the creation of banner ads I do buy because every publication I've worked with, they all have graphic designers. I do buy because every publication I've worked with, they all have graphic designers who will help you with
no
that.
charge.
Yes, it's
Okay.
part of what you're paying for. Of course, you always get what you pay for, right? So
Yeah.
if you already have really good skills, you wouldn't want to use them anyway. But folks like
Sure.
me that don't have any art tools on my computer, them anyway. But folks like
Sure.
me that don't have any art tools on my computer, they can always make my stuff look a little better.
Sure.
I guess I'd say that, and I'll repeat it, I'm sorry, go ahead, if I didn't step on you.
Go right ahead. I'll follow.
I'd like to see us spend the $3,000 just to get our feet wet. I'd like to see us spend the $3,000 just to get our feet wet with this, so we have a working knowledge of it. I don't know, I mean, I use that as a learning experience for us to say, is this doing what we want it to do? How does this system work so we can better understand another system and still get something? System work so we can better understand another system and still get something in this year. So that's why I would opt out for trying the 3,000 to use it this year so we get a feel for what's out there and what it does or doesn't do.
I would agree. I think we should do that, and I like the fact that. I would agree. I think we should do that, and I like the fact that those ads are very targeted, coming from the Trade and Industry magazine. I mean, those are the, as you said, those are the people you want to reach. And let's give it a try, since the money is there and may not be there after January 1st. So money is there and may not be there after January 1st. So it's a good way to, as you said, put our toe in the water.
I agree with spending the money. That's not my concern. But I thought they were bad. I mean, I don't think they're good.
Yeah, I think she
So-
pinch hit. I don't think it's.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying, so I don't think they're good.
Yeah, I think
So-
she pinch hit. I don't think it's.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying, so, and unfortunately, I think we're going to get a bad read on what could otherwise be a good program. So I don't want to put 3,000 that says, oh, it didn't work simply because we had bad execution and bad leadership from their standpoint.
I don't think we should.
Execution and bad leadership from their standpoint.
I don't think we should turn this down just because that individual didn't make a good presentation. It doesn't mean that what they will do will be bad. She just didn't present very well. I think we can agree
I think the
with that.
reverb was really messing
Bothering
with her
her,
head too.
yes.
I know that would make it very hard.
And
for
if she
me.
was pinch hitting for somebody,
I know that would make it very hard.
and
for
if she
me.
was pinch hitting for somebody else, I don't think we should turn it down for that reason.
No, because she was not capable, is how I would read this. And if that's the best they're going to present to us, then that's the best they got.
Not necessarily.
Well, no,
As we
maybe
heard,
not
where she's
necessarily,
just,
but,
you know,
but the
pinch
point
hitting.
is, if as a company you should have your best player, and if you don't, then don't send them. Why would you assume we have any better than that?
What is her title? Do you know, Kelly?
Oh, give me a sec.
Okay.
We haven't heard from
Well,
Tim.
if you're going to spend the $3,000, what do you want to spend it on?
And we're not going to.
I'll find somebody else for a firm besides this. They would be my last on our list of 10 right now. So I'd go back to these other guys and say, hey, can you do something maybe for us for 3,000? I thought the Multiview guy was a pretty good program, and he had all these other EDC companies he's worked with. He says, hey, I work with here, which are all about the same size as us, all with the same base.
No,
He's
they're
just a
salespeople.
sales guy.
They're sales.
I mean, I understand the sales side of it and the presentation side of it. I don't know what they're gonna do when that face disappears.
Because that face
Or
will
what they're
disappear.
gonna do when the face we saw tonight disappears, which would be the next step, they disappear.
Well, then we can never spend it with anybody because we're always dealing with salespeople, first of all. And those salespeople sell and then they go on.
Not
And then
necessarily.
you deal with the administrative people to make it happen.
Well, that's not a truism.
Well, it's been my experience.
Okay, and mine isn't. So
Okay.
mine would say that you would talk with an account executive who's going to change and say, hey, I'm going to make sure this works. Because if I get this 3,000 and it works, I maybe get 10, 15, whatever. So you don't take a new business and just throw it to this curb. Not, generally speaking. But this was a poor experience of a presentation. She had no background.
Well, we
She
know-
had no,
yeah,
and
like
so you got to judge on what you got at the moment. She had no background.
Well, we
She
know-
had no,
yeah, like
and so you got to judge on what you got at the moment. So they need to come back and give us a new presentation with a new person, or let's find somebody else. The other guy gave a better presentation. He had experience. They had companies. They had results. Now he promised return on investment and then didn't back that up. I don't know, did he ever send anything back to us on investment and then didn't back that up? I don't know, did he ever send anything back to us on his return on investment?
He sent me everything that he had based on the questions that I asked, and I shared the entire thread with the EDC Commission, so I have to pull that back up to know specifically, but I asked all the questions that you asked me to ask.
Okay,
Specifically, but I asked all the questions that you asked me to ask.
okay.
Brandy, who was supposed to do the presentation, is the director of sales, and Kate is an account manager. So Brandy is or was her boss. She's coming in the last minute. She clearly is not. She said, she's coming in the last minute. She clearly is not. She said, she was uncomfortable with everybody looking at her. So she's not somebody who goes out and does presentations. What do you think?
I side with Mike and Barb, basically. I think we need to. I side with Mike and Barb, basically. I think we need to try something. I think that it being the fact that it's a very targeted group may yield something. The other thing I like about it, to be honest with you, it's only 3 months. Into 3 months, you're done. It's less expensive than the other. If it doesn't produce anything, we're done. Wave by and move on. Then we've got some experience. I mean, by the time we meet again, which will be the end of October, and then try to pick something else or make any decision, we wouldn't pick anything probably until at the earliest step before the end of the year.
And I'm concerned that if we spend the 3 and get a bad result, not because it's a bad idea, because to me I think this is a terrific idea. I really do. I think the targeted advertising to the right group with the right creative and all those things is dead on. I just don't think they're the right player, and if we get a bad result, we're going to just to wait 3,000 and you got no results. So, I mean, I think we're putting the whole program in jeopardy by using a bad agency.
Kind of like we govern our own money to some extent. Once the budget is set, then Callie's in charge of it.
Let's go to council regardless,
Yeah,
and if it's
for-
more than 5, I have to get approval from the mayor. So it's limited, but yes,
And that would be
essentially.
going into next year for that kind of money if we need be. I guess I could pull a Nancy Pelosi and make a motion and see if it's got enough votes on the floor to even present it, but
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, is compelling. It is only 3,000. It's not, enormous amounts of money.
I don't see why the
on the other-
council's going to crush it. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't have any say over this at this point.
we would just see the results, and if we don't like them, so be it.
It's our evaluation tool.
No, but for next year, if we say, hey, look, we'd like to spend, not very good.
Well, the 30 may not be spent with the same company.
Correct.
And if
Yeah.
the 3 comes out of this year, then next year, if you decide to try multi-view and you stick it out for a whole year, it's 18 to 20 grand. You'd still have 10 to 12 in the pocket to either renew this if you like it or to look at something else. Both multi-view and trade and industry development came to me via the ads that we placed in Site Selection magazine. And I I hate to be this person, but I'm just too busy. I've stopped responding to these types of cold mails that I get. I just don't have the time, turn that back on and start responding to them again. But right now I felt like our pipeline was full with 2 more print ads and then 2 more programs we were considering. We can look at other things, but off the top of my head, I don't know anybody who's doing this sort of thing that is targeting who we want to target, which is represent the prime companies, the big companies that are looking for corporate headquarters expansions, relocations. An example is when S&C Electric selected Franklin for their expansion, literally almost right next to their current building, even though they had come in and brought an engineer and their facilities guys came in, and I thought we were done. I ended up having to queue in through Cushman Wakefield's site selection division out of the Chicago office, and I had to pitch it just like everybody else did. So this is supposed to be targeting the Jason Field site selectors of the world, so that when they get a customer and they're looking through their sphere to try to help narrow down where they should be recommending sites to their client, we want to be in that mix. And right now we're really not on very many radar screens, Wisconsin region. So this is, if it does what it says it's going to do, and they are actually grabbing those facilities managers for companies that aren't using a site selection company or the site selectors themselves, a half-page ad will run you about $3,000.
Yeah.
So comparing apples to apples, I don't think there's a whole lot of risk in giving this a try. And also, if you feel uncomfortable with the amount of information you've received, I'm more than happy to collect additional information to make a decision about this, like at the end of the month where we meet whenever it's convenient for everybody to get together for 5 minutes. You can do that too. Or you can make a conditional approval based on me getting additional information to share back out with you, which I would do. And if the renewal, we simply don't pursue. So I think there's a number of ways you can do it.
Yeah, I guess here's be what I'd like to do, I guess, is I'd like to have at least like a case study, preferably a couple of examples that they've actually done with the city. And if they could do that and they could show something that looks halfway decent in addition to people just scrolling by, then I would say let's absolutely do it. And I don't think we need a special meeting. I think if we approved it in October, we'd have the money booked, from the budget perspective, so we'd still be fine.
Yeah. So the way council handles things like that is council will make an approval, and it will say something like approved with technical changes by staff, or technical whatever, approvals by staff, or staff's final judgment as to approvals by staff, or staff's final judgment as to the veracity of the program, or whatever the case may be. But it's approval contingent on staff action. So if you were comfortable doing that, and you trusted my judgment that the information that we will get after this meeting suitably addresses your concerns, and we move forward anyway, would that be acceptable to you? Would that be acceptable to you all?
Well, I don't think that was his recommendation. His was saying we have enough time to get it for October with the additional information.
I don't see how we have enough time.
No,
Correct,
you would.
either.
You'd be going into next year with a 3-month program then.
That's just
But we book it now, right?
Into next year with a 3-month program then.
That's just
But we book it now, right? And
Yeah.
the money is spent and is all spent in 21.
Maybe.
Is that not?
Maybe. It depends on how the PO works. It might be encumbered this year, it might not. But that's $1,000 for next year if that's the case. So I'm not worried about that. So,
I mean, I trust you 3, Kelly. And I'm fine, I guess, with that. But I mean, my ideal state would be, let's see a few examples, And if this company has nothing they can provide, which is kind of what we saw at this,
I was
then let's not do it. And if they have 2-3 good examples, it's not that high risk, let's go for it.
Right.
Then rules are weird.
I don't know if that other company had a lot of comparables to us either.
No. I did call the one reference, but the thing about that is you know that that's a teed up relationship, right?
Yeah.
There's no way I was going to hear one negative word about the company that I was calling for that, and that hypothetically I could be calling her back saying, why didn't you tell me this?
Sure.
So,
I thought they had about 8 to 10 EDCs that they'd worked with around the country.
yeah, I don't know.
Some in Colorado, I know something.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that they were companies, that's what I said. I said,
Yeah,
I thought
it's-
they were about 8 to 10. Point being, I guess, which is,
I guess I just don't.
let's just see some.
It's just to have something that is kind of in our sphere. I mean, I know that's a much bigger city that has a different offering, but at least it's
The closest she
Some
got
sort
was
of-
an agricultural. That was her
Yeah,
example.
she was
And-
not
and
the
a
right
couple of
representative
job
for
fairs
that.
and-
message.
Yeah, and job fairs and all that other stuff. So, and you're right. I mean, she might have been the wrong person, but maybe that was the right stuff. That that's really what they're doing. So
But she did say about the fact that she's, as opposed
They
to,
might
that
be
wasn't said
smaller,
in the
but they
other
might
one.
be
Instead of a
mightier.
shotgun.
Yeah.
I guess I'd make a motion to proceed with exploring a 3-month contract with the Vice President presenters, starting in October, if that's possible, if they can gear up that quickly. You have heard our questions, and if you're satisfied with the answers, to proceed with that, condition upon your reviewing our discussion with them.
I would second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye.
no. Opposed to.
So there's 2 no's
Nay.
and 3 yeses.
So, motion carries with 3 ayes and 2 noes, and I will note the ayes and the noes in the minutes.
Okay.
And I will then follow up, Austin with Multiview asked me to follow up with them doing
I know.
and see if we might not be able to, 6% remaining, I'm gonna go get a power cable.
Let me just finish the thought, because I guess for Austin Multiview, maybe just seeing if we could break it below that 18,000.
You know, if you read the thread, I tried.
Yeah.
That was
okay.
that was the best regular price, and I'm like, why would we?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just
Yeah,
real
just-
comfortable with the 3 months trial to
Yeah.
I
I'm
do.
with you.
Let me go get it.
Sure.
whole
And
dynamic.
if you guys move on to minutes, just let me know who
Mhm.
makes the.
And meanwhile, Steve, she just needs to take your course
She needs
in
more than that.
presentation.
I don't think she was used,
She was
somebody
thrown
had
into
schooled her,
this.
she hadn't put the slides together. This was
Yeah.
not a well-prepared.
Well, if the other person backed out the end of last week, I can.
Yeah,
understand.
you almost feel for her if she was
Yeah.
just thrown to the wolves, but
Well, I'm not holding it
but
against her personally, but the
Yeah.
fact is, as a company, they could have put the slides, but the
Yeah.
fact is, as a company, they could have put the slides together. She should have had a deck, that it should be just, canned for anybody saying, hey, this is what we do and how we do it. Which is why
I understand your perspective.
Yeah,
I
I
really do.
understand.
I mean, I understand
and a week is plenty of time.
I understand
And a week is plenty of time.
and I
it's probably
just,
time because this isn't customized. I mean, this is just.
I just thought the other one was maybe a little bit too polished in a way, when I was going.
Austin does it for a living. He does it every day.
Yeah.
You can tell.
I
mean,
thought
he
that was,
reached out to
that
me.
was,
I want.
He does it every day.
Yeah.
You can tell.
I
mean,
thought
he
that was,
reached out to
that
me.
was.
I want.
Both the companies
He
do
sent
for a
me-
living.
I mean, he's a salesman and he's the owner of the company and he's
He sent
I don't
me a
know what
LinkedIn
they
request
do for us after that. That's why I'm hoping to get a better feel for that.
And we'll find that out within 3 months.
Yep. Feel for that.
And we'll find that out within 3 months.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll be good.
And honestly, I'll find out too if it turns out that you're unhappy with what's happening, if we can truncate it.
Oh, sure.
It sounds like it's month by month. So,
Okay.
I'll learn more. I'll keep you guys posted.
Sounds good.
Okay. More. I'll keep you guys posted.
Sounds good.
Okay. So we can shut that down. Shut that down. Shut that down. Shut that down. Shut that down.
And with that working knowledge, we can make a better presentation to the council, put a bigger contract together.
That's good.
And if you want to mention how the EDC's budget has continued to be whittled away year after year after year. Because if we were to spend 30,000, I literally had to fight to get 30,000 in the marketing services line item, which meant that if we were to spend 30,000 on these two programs next year, that would leave me with $26,500 for absolutely everything else. All printing, all office supplies, you name it, everything. Which
Appreciation.
ends up being $500 a week or $100 a day. It's pretty thin.
Yeah.
And if it continues this way, it's going to be a concern. Because I need help and I'm not getting help, and now my budget's being cut more. So
Well,
I
like
do what I
said,
can
yeah.
do for you guys, but
Well, and to that, how we
Oh,
execute it.
yeah.
So, okay. So we have up here,
well, I'm
Review
just
that.
ready for the next thing.
yes. So our
But-
next
but
item
we-
on here is
Minutes.
approved minutes. All those in favor, yeah, all the minutes.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Good, passed. All right, South Suburban Chamber of Commerce, we just had this past month a anniversary party. And by all accounts, they anniversary party. And by all accounts, they said it was a wonderful success. I was unfortunately not able to be there. But that said, it seemed to be well appreciated. The chamber is starting to do and has been doing things live, in person. And the bank account seems to be in pretty decent shape, live, in person. And the bank account seems to be in pretty decent shape. Also, you know, we've had the benefit of Victory Creek handling that accounting for us, so we thank you for that. Appreciate it.
I was at the anniversary celebration and it was ungodly hot. It was
Yeah.
like 95 degrees that day. And the band was ungodly hot. It was
Yeah.
like 95 degrees that day. And the band was phenomenal.
Mhm.
Just rocking it out in that heat. They were really, really good. It was
Who was the band?
Cold City Brewing in the, I don't
I don't
remember.
remember either.
And the horns are, I'll tell
They're
you a
good.
little.
I don't remember either.
And the horns are, I'll tell
They're
you a
good.
little bit.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up. But they were really good. And then they also had a golf outing
Right.
in coordination with the Muskego Chamber.
How'd
Yeah.
that go?
Well, they said a lot of fun was had, money was raised, and it was a good time. Well, they said a lot of fun was had, money was raised, and it was a good time had by all. Also, it was a very good networking event for a number of folks, so they came away saying it was good.
Do you know what kind of numbers they have?
I don't, but I can get some.
Just
Yeah,
curious.
I'll bring that next time.
And the biannual update on the visitor's guide will be happening. It'll be released in 2022. My plan is to move forward as the Franklin EDC has done in the last several years and take the back cover again. And in your packet, you will see the quarter page ad you approved for Business Expansion magazine. I sent him my half page and said, hey, you know, if you need to make this smaller and make it into a quarter page, I can do that. And he said, nah, we'll run it as a half page. So I ended up getting a half page for a quarter page price. And it comes with a half page of editorial, which is also there. And I would love the visitor's guide. And I told the sales rep that this year I want to be involved in going out and getting more Franklin businesses represented in the visitor's guide, because I was very concerned the last time the guide was updated that it members' activities. It's not something that the chamber itself as a board or administrators have any say over. But me as the economic development director, I can walk into like Galleria Furniture and say, hey, you joined the chamber, you really need to be in this book. Or, hey, you didn't join the chamber, you should join the chamber and you really need to be in this book. And try to up representation for Franklin, which in turn will become a tool to lure new members and create a better cycle for the
Nice.
chamber. So
Nice.
I have like a box of the guides. If any of you want to carry some around with you after I meet with Eric on Wednesday afternoon, I will share with you the information that he provides to me, and then you can arm yourselves as ambassadors and go out and try to sell memberships in the visitor's guide for 2022.
Got it.
Please and thank you.
All right.
2022.
Got it.
Please and thank you.
All right. Okay. So that's South Suburban update. We're going to move on to business appreciation.
Yes.
All right. Let's talk about the celebration. Appreciation.
Yes.
All right. Let's talk about the celebration. The event planning, event logistics, sponsorships, awards, and I think you got up there nominations. Yes.
Yes. I didn't actually put everything in the agenda, but I have been dinged for not being as transparent as I could be with explaining to the public what I have been dinged for not being as transparent as I could be with explaining to the public what the topics are actually all about.
Yeah.
So this is not intended to be an all-inclusive list, but to give the public an idea of
Right.
what we're discussing.
Mm-hmm. So that said, these are the nominations thus far. This is
Yes.
the final group, or where is this at? That said, these are the nominations thus far. This is
Yes.
the final group, or where is this at? And then the next, does this group vote on it tonight and we're done?
We better.
So I did not hear from everyone.
Right.
3 members provided me with suggestions,
Mm-hmm.
and I also put my own in here. Some of them coincided with other nominations.
And food?
Say what?
And food?
And food? Yeah, with me it's always about food. Was that collectively you might come up with some additional nominations, and then you would select your final, however many you want to have publicized as your nominees, 3 or 4 per category, or 3 or 4, that doesn't have to be across the board, and then select your winner tonight so that I have enough time. And if something should happen, like one drops and shatters, there's a typo, there's a defect on one, we still have time to get another one ordered. So I feel really strongly that if you don't make a decision tonight about who your nominees and your winners are, I will be asking you for a special meeting probably later. The award company has enough time to do their thing.
The event is 2 weeks from Thursday,
Yes.
14.
so we need to move on.
Yes.
Close
Yes.
the door, Barbara. We're not
Can't
leaving.
do it.
Exactly.
Not only can we not close the door, but we cannot go into closed session. So I want you all to be aware that if any member of the public reading that we say in this room could technically be splashed on the front page of a newspaper, radio, or social media platform, which makes it a little bit difficult. If you have any concerns about a company, we can simply just say, I have some concerns, or if you feel that they are well suited to be confidential going on, you should do that as well. And I think that we can still accomplish what we need to tonight without digging into those details. And I did try to get a closed session, but both Jesse and the mayor told me I couldn't do it. So here we are.
Okay. So additional add-ons. Let's just take a look at large to begin with. We got Dash, we got Strauss, we got Karma, S&C, and Hermely. Hermely? How do I say that?
Hermely.
Hermely, yeah.
Excuse me, Steve, do we want to really say all those names out loud? Because some of these people aren't.
The screen, that's why I
Just
didn't
look
put
at
it
the
on
screen
paper.
and then,
What do you mean they're not going to be nominees?
well,
If we decide to eliminate any of those, and maybe let's refer to them by their
1, 2, 3.
A2, A3. So if somebody gets the recording,
And also, we're not letting anyone know that they weren't even considered.
Okay, so if we want to add somebody to it, we have to say their name.
yes, you're right.
That you'd have to do.
Which is why I wanted the nominations in advance to
Right.
avoid that.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, make a nomination in the large, and that was part of last year's, and that would be Vesta, Lubrizol.
And a lot of these didn't have a Y because if I didn't get a Y from someone else and
Example, they've been a solid contributor to the business consortium.
I appreciate, I like number 2 up there, and especially because of their involvement, and I'm sure,
that one.
yes, because of the why, because they were a PPE leader. I'm sure that they really had to step up in the last year tremendously, and I think we should recognize that sort of activity.
I'm sorry to do this to you guys.
And I think we should recognize that sort of activity.
I'm sorry to do this to you guys, but one of the things that I meant to do was look up their gross revenue. I had to move one of the companies into the small category because they were less than 10 million a year gross sales.
Okay.
Sales.
Okay.
There's on the
14.
bottom
Okay,
14.6.
It
so
was 14, what
Says
was
14.
it? 14.5,
14.65.
right on the Facebook page.
yeah, now I need to find.
14.65.
Right on the Facebook page,
Yeah, now I need to find out where.
or
Oh,
website.
it's right in front of me. So we know that they fit in this category then.
Right.
So then another way that we can do this is I can actually put like how many people
Oh, okay.
agreed to each one.
Okay, just kind of some votes.
So
Okay.
do you want to add any additional companies to this list?
I don't.
So
Go
remember
for it.
too, I put this in your packet. This was some questions that you had used for consideration of nominees in the past, put together by Chair Babowski. And then down here, these are the folks who were nominated. So if you have concerns about nominating those who've been nominated in the past or one in the past, we can't win in the last 3 years. But just something to be aware of.
Mike, can you reach that? Thank you.
Okay, so can we go back to small?
Yeah.
Are we? We got something. What?
Is the first one, is that under 10 million? Yeah, so in cell D2, maybe.
D to this one?
Yeah.
I
Or
would
am I thinking that?
I would assume that it's under that,
Yeah.
given the
I think so.
nature of the
Maybe
business.
I'm thinking of the wrong.
It's
place.
over.
So-
It's a retail.
Yeah.
It's
Okay, small. I'm thinking of the wrong place.
That's privately held, you probably won't see it.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Good point.
and it probably would be buried in with all of the other.
Right.
This.
It's a franchise, so
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's not bringing 10 million euros.
But
Okay, so
Yeah.
we're
I don't know.
we're
It doesn't seem like it's that much to me. I
There-
guess.
we're good on large.
Right.
Right.
I think we have
Okay,
enough
so
there.
now we're talking small. Does anybody else have a nominee for small? I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to nominate Victory Creek. And the reason is, this past year, Victory Creek stepped up, helped the Chamber of Commerce. This year, Victory Creek stepped up, helped the Chamber of Commerce for free. In fact, they've been doing that for several years. And that isn't free. And it's kept us from, all sorts of issues that could be, associated with it. So they've been a great partner for the Chamber of Commerce.
That 10 million thing, I think, will disqualify them all.
Yeah, they're big dogs, yeah.
Yeah, you know, maybe
Yeah.
a little large.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
can I play the devil's advocate?
Sure.
How would that be viewed with them? You'd have to recuse yourself.
I think that would be
Yeah.
difficult
And I think
for
that'd
you.
be,
Yourself.
I think that would be
Yeah.
difficult
and I think
for
that'd be
you.
fair. I mean, again, but I also don't think he
But
should,
you could
they
still
should
vote
be
with the
penalized
majority of the
because.
I'm not
Yeah.
suggesting that, I'm just saying the
Yeah.
proprietariness of it.
I'm
would
with
be
you. I agree. So he can't, they can't vote in this one,
Whoever that is,
whatever that is. They can't vote
Right.
in this one,
whoever that is.
whatever that is. Yeah, in whatever that is. What is that? 6D. Got it. Any others? All right, we're good on small. Let's go to new.
My concern is that every one of those,
Which
For
one?
new?
This one?
and
New.
No, the new,
Yeah, it's,
well, that's why they're new, I guess.
Yeah,
but it
but
says
they
3
haven't-
years, but
Oh.
that's like,
Yeah, they don't have a
they're
track record.
brand new, there's not anybody that's,
Yeah, I mean, at least 2 of those are over a year, but not much over a year, I suppose. Cell F3 there, is probably, 18 months. I want to say
Yeah,
they opened in
all
like
right. It was
April.
February of
and what is
Yeah,
it? I
right
don't know.
after
It's a
everything
restaurant, it is.
but
27th Street.
their dining room is never opened, so if you don't know their food and you didn't order in advance, I think that there's other choices that are kind of in the same category that
Well, honey
maybe have a
butter-
little
It is pretty
better
heavy.
customer
I should
service, maybe.
Can I go with four down, or the fourth?
This one?
But
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that local before that?
I don't
So
believe
same ownership,
Yeah,
but as
it's
business
different.
closed and they
Right.
moved
Well,
it over.
Well, not really the same ownership. It used to be the parents, and now it's the son.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So he kind of took it over, changed up the menu,
Right.
closed the one,
Yeah.
opened the new.
And they're doing well.
They always have a line. Always.
I guess if I was to recommend one from that group, that would be it.
Yeah, sorry, you want to cut them from the group? Is that what you said? Or you want?
We're
No,
gonna recommend them.
Oh, okay. So are we to that stage yet?
Do you
Well,
guys
like
Are we
want
just doing
to
nominations?
eliminate one? 4 nominations in each category. It
No.
just
We got
gets too
seven
much.
here.
Not even.
Yeah.
So we could, but we could remove one of these if you feel that they're just not in that sweet spot at all. I kind of threw this in there because they were new and because you guys had a role in the recommendation of it. They are, or what litmus we would place on them as to why. Not that anyone's asking us for that, but it's kind of good to know as members if someone talks to you and says, "Hey, why did you nominate us?"
We've heard it
I mean, I think it's
before.
a unique footprint, and
Yeah,
true.
something that's a little bit of a differentiator, and
Well,
no,
I mean, in the last
No.
18 months, I suspect they weren't open much.
I would probably,
I guess I just don't want this category to be best new restaurant.
All of these, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I mean, of
the.
rows 3.
No, next one
One
up.
more.
That one.
Next one up.
Oh, that one.
Yes,
Has a community value.
exactly.
So I mean, I lean
What's
towards
the community value?
They're it's, how do I say it? Their emphasis is on helping the community. Is helping people along the way to do something.
I feel like that's a tough location to
Yeah.
fill too. I don't know how many other places we're really
It was
ample
vacant for a
to
long
get in
time.
there.
Yes.
So
Yes. It was,
I'm not familiar with them. So when you say that they're helping people who are down on their luck,
they're related to, they're owned by Habitat for Humanity.
Okay.
And this is a retail operation. And you can contribute, I'm giving away who they are,
yeah, whatever.
furniture, appliances,
Yeah.
I take extra
Hard
building
goods.
supplies, like if you do a tile job at home, you could take 20. I take extra
Hard
building
goods.
supplies, like if you do a tile job at home, you could take 20 tiles to them, they'll
Yes.
take it.
yeah,
Doors,
yeah, so it doesn't go into the landfill.
Appliances,
Right.
contractors use them a lot when they're gutting and rehabbing like apartment complexes, so they're bringing like 25 toilets at a time, that kind of thing.
I have
And
a
they're
very
right,
good experience with them.
5 toilets at a time. that kind of thing.
I've
And
had
they're
very
right,
good experience with them coming and actually picking up things that.
and they're right next to
Actually,
Goodwill, so
And
Okay,
they actually
so they're
took
making
it down all of
donations.
my kitchen,
Did-
so I didn't have to
oh.
throw it into the
Exactly,
landfill.
right.
So.
I got new appliances and they took all the working old
Yeah.
ones with and it was
Yeah.
great. I loved it.
yeah, I was very excited when,
Took all the working
Yeah.
old ones with and it was
Yeah.
great. I loved it.
yeah, I was very excited when they came to town
They are a
because
very
I'm
good
a little
place.
bit of a DIYer and I'm a
Mm.
thrifter, so it like hits all my sweet spots.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they're still in.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go back to our listing. So, can we close that one?
Do
there
we
for a
want to
moment?
eliminate,
All right, let's go back to our listing. So, can we close that one?
do
there
we
for a
want to
moment?
eliminate one of these three to not be top heavy, or do you want to just leave all five? I mean, it's totally up to you.
I
Yeah,
think
leave
the
all
number-
five, and we'll vote them out. We're gonna vote here in a bit, right? So then we've got,
Well, I think the question right is, do we just want to have like 4 nominees? Well, I think the question right is, do we just want to have like 4 nominees?
Yeah.
3 or 4
Do you want to
nominees?
have a set number in each?
yeah, why? I mean, the point is we're gonna vote here in a moment.
Right, you vote and you're
And they're gonna
not
win or lose.
Right.
And we don't have to have 4 nominees or 3. It's not 4 nominees or 3. It's not, set in stone.
I have no problem with saying these people have been nominated,
Yeah.
whatever they are. I mean, whoever did it, however, these are,
This is what it is.
it's almost
Yeah.
like, oh, well, good, look, we were nominated too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's almost
Yeah.
like, oh, well, good, look, we were nominated too.
yeah.
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
exclude
it's
them?
something,
Right.
right?
Why exclude anybody?
Did we make a nominee plaque or something
I
in
was
the
gonna
past?
ask the same
Yeah,
thing.
Do you recall
I
that?
think, didn't you have something for the nominees?
Yeah, I just did
Just a little,
certificate and I
Yeah,
went to the
like a
dollar store
frame.
and bought
Right, like a-
inexpensive. I just did
just a little,
certificates and I
Yeah,
went to the
like a
dollar store
frame.
and bought
Right, like a
inexpensive
frame.
frames.
How
yeah.
cool. That's nice. Good, I think
Yeah.
it's great. Yeah.
And then, of
Yeah.
course, each of the nominees needs to be contacted to be told that they're nominees and to ensure that they have one or more people present at the event.
And that is
Yeah.
important. Because
And
that's
so,
the tickets,
there's that, which also has the good side of.
important because
And
that's the
so,
tickets, yeah.
there's that, which also has the good side of raising attendance.
Sure.
So if you guys want to leave it at that, when we get over
That's
here, now we got sick,
That's
Yeah.
no problem.
starting to get.
with me.
I don't want people to assume that we're just giving everybody a. I don't want people to assume that we're just giving everybody a
attendance award.
participation award just because their name
Exactly.
got mentioned.
Yeah.
But that's up to you guys, whatever you want to do.
There's just not that many names. I mean, there's
Yeah.
a lot more businesses than what's listed there, so.
Someone
This
would
is
like
a
to know they're nominated.
this one that I have given the current climate of what's happening.
I agree.
More so than what has happened.
It's still happening.
It's still happening.
Is it?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes.
So what is okay?
Mm.
Well, I can say from, I mean, now they've hired somebody to run, it's not the same management as 2 years ago when I went to talk to them, but they wouldn't even bother giving me the time of day at that point.
This is the company.
I'd vote to remove that
I
company.
would too.
I think that that would be a very wise.
Yeah.
Is each of you will be targeted by people who have a philosophical difference of opinion about
Yeah, that's
what's going on there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember back in November of 2020, the 3+ hour council meeting, it was just.
I have one other.
I just don't
I have one
remember
of-
that.
Now,
Drinking during that.
uh,
That was probably a wise
Heavy.
thing.
This is also a company that was.
what
looking
is
to
our
leave.
position as an EDC on them? I mean, they as if you take good citizens, they've done everything right according to what good citizens are supposed to be about. Just because it's politically taking people who do business in here and trying to grow it.
Well, except they were trying to grow it in a different city.
That went away.
Oh,
They
there's
tried to
a,
grow
there's
it
a
here.
whole background there. They weren't in the wrong there. They
Oh,
were
I'm
doing
not
due
saying
diligence.
No, I get it, but
Yeah.
I mean they made a choice.
They were ready to walk away from
Correct.
Franklin.
I'm just saying I don't think that's something.
And all this other
Yeah,
stuff.
I think we need to change
That's
conversation topic here.
yeah.
I think so.
If you want to leave it in, but I will go to the mayor with this and I will get his blessing because
Well,
if he
I
feels
don't
it's-
want to leave it in.
I don't want to leave it in.
I like the fact that there's an expansion going on, is settled.
Maybe once that's done.
Then after that, I'm open.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
right now, it's, well, I mean,
It's controversial.
anyone that can want to listen to it, it's in the courts.
It's up in the air.
So if that came in front of us, and there would be those who would say that economic development,
What should have?
that expansion, as opposed to the planning commission, should have come to us first.
No.
Well, it can't because it's in the business park and the EDC doesn't have jurisdiction
Oh,
over that.
we
The
talked about that. Yeah,
the
now-
CDA does specifically has jurisdiction over the business park. And that's in the ordinances. And you guys cannot change the CDA's municipal code. Only the CDA can do that.
Okay.
Or council. And nobody wants to change the way things are done. So for the foreseeable future, the CDA will always have control over the decisions that happen in the business park, go to council, because the CDA has been given powers that the EDC does not have.
So then we really should be only voting on companies that are within the Franklin business.
No,
Park.
all the city outside of the business park. And you can still promote and market and engage with business park companies. This body just doesn't make the planning decisions for them. That is the authority of the CDA. But that's really the only thing that the CDA does. And that's because the CDA was around back in the day when the business park was built. And that's because the CDA was around back in the day when the business park was built. And they got involved in the developers agreement. Since that time, council has elected to not have the CDA be the authority because they do have authorities that the EDC doesn't have. They would prefer the authority because they do have authorities that the EDC doesn't have. They would prefer to have a recommendation come through the EDC to council as opposed to having the CDA make a decision that council has no authority to change. Does that make sense?
And I don't see
In
where
a
that,
convoluted way, yeah.
Change. Does that make sense?
and I don't see
In
where
a
that,
convoluted way, yeah. It really
I
does.
guess I don't see where that applies here, because we can name anybody from anywhere.
Correct.
for this.
Yeah.
Correct.
As long as they're in Franklin.
But the question was asked, shouldn't the EDC be looking at that particular company, and shouldn't the EDC be looking at that particular company and what they want to do?
Oh,
Now,
no.
if there was an appropriate time in the stream for you guys to make a recommendation that would go to the next council meeting, absolutely. But that's outside the scope of what we're doing here.
And all I'm saying is that if that
What we're doing here.
And all I'm saying is that if that were the case, they played, again, what are we saying? We want people that are within Franklin to grow their business within Franklin.
Yes.
And if they do that, according to the rules, then we should say, go forth and do more.
But they haven't done that yet.
My belief is
It
that the
hasn't
company would not appreciate.
I would agree.
I would
If-
say
if-
Oh,
It-
no,
it
see,
would
I
be
agree with
very
that.
bad
Okay,
PR.
so
Yeah,
law-
I don't think we'd be supporting them
No,
to the
okay,
best
so
of
I
our
agree with
ability
that.
with
That's a
this.
different spin on it. That
Yeah.
works for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I didn't want to just
Yeah,
thumb our
no.
nose at them simply because it wasn't political.
You don't want to abandon them. You want
Yeah,
to show
'cause-
support, and that's a good thing.
And like I said, they should be on the top of everybody's
Mm-hmm.
list because of all their expansion here
And
and
they
their
do.
desire to speed.
And then we'll try to get, groundbreaking, ribbon
This
cutting, and those
could
kinds of
be-
things. Get the chamber involved and make a very big deal out of it.
Depending on what the courts decide, I mean, it might not ever happen.
Yeah.
They might just decide that they don't want to.
I got you. I'm off.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
So
we
we're
need to
good.
stop
Y'all
talking
are right.
about this.
Yeah, just leave it.
And
Okay,
over
so
the
back to
leader section,
leader.
too.
Well,
Same
then you got-
same
okay,
argument
that's-
applies.
Starfire is now Certisite, just so y'all know.
What is it?
Oh, they changed their name.
But I still see them using Starfire, so I'd have to figure it out. But Certisite isn't in place,
Okay.
which was a really good move by the company. They got an influx of cash. They got the additional tools that come with having Certisite be their new owner. But Sue Malik stayed in place. She continues to do the same role. She's still serving on the Franklin Business Park Consortium. Their why is that they were adaptable in the face of, difficult business landscape. And they did what they did had to do to survive and succeed and get to the next level with their company. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the next one down from where you are right now was nominated in 18 and 19, and didn't win.
And didn't win.
I think the explanation is a very good one.
I do
just think
too.
that's worth considering.
Other people, and they will be a sponsor. I believe they want to sponsor the dessert and coffee bar. But he will not be here. He called me specifically to tell me that he would have representatives there, but he would not be in attendance.
And this category is for a leader, a person.
Yes. Make him
Still
the winner,
name him
but he
and
wouldn't be there.
I'll
On
accept
behalf.
Yeah.
the last,
Yeah, 'cause
the
that's-
last one in this category.
The last one is the other one I
So
have.
this one is that one. It's the same one.
Yeah.
The last one in this category is.
Is that a business though?
No, it's not.
It is a leader.
It's a leader in the
But
community.
it's,
It just
I know,
hit my
and
head.
I love the individual and would give,
I think
anything that I could help with would be fine, but it's a,
So not even a nomination, you don't think?
no.
Okay.
It's a government employee.
Well,
and
actually,
That's
That's
the
pretty much
problem.
what
I
everybody-
think they.
We are,
Very good
we
job.
as a we as that entity, I appreciate it 100%.
Well, okay, so, it's 4 across.
And what happened to that
They
third
don't
one?
have a
What
name
happened to
next
that
to
one?
four across this one,
Yeah, you know, there's not a name there.
I wasn't given a name, so I
That's
can
why I
make.
said I don't think I
Yeah.
don't think we have in, I
Yeah.
don't think we have in, 2000.
So in
It could be,
2018,
hang
person was
on.
nominated.
It could, hang on, it could be
Same person from 18.
this person who is one of the owners, or it could be this person who is like the COO, or it could be this person who is like the COO, CFO,
Runs the place.
top dog at the company staff-wise.
What happened to the top
They,
one?
It was the same. I had it on there twice because
Oh,
somebody. Yeah.
okay, got it.
It was the same. I had it on there twice because
Oh,
somebody. Yeah.
okay, got it.
At the
Yeah.
consortium, they're not there hardly.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, where before, the 2012 he was front and center. A true, you know, it's a nah.
I even got,
A true, you know, it's a nah.
I even got some samples.
Yeah, they did. They had samples. So we can't even put a name up there, so I don't think it belongs.
Takes us to 2, huh?
Yep.
So this one out. So this one out.
Who are the leaders in Franklin?
Alex. Alex.
Okay, so let's vote. How do we do that?
Well, let's
Well,
talk
let's
about
just
this
see.
some more because we only have 2, and we're publicizing through a press release who our nominees are. We got one category that we're going to have 5, and we've got another category that only has 2. Kind of looks like we only had 2.
Sorry, yeah.
You know, I'm gonna just to play devil's advocate. I would say that I consider this like a not-for-profit business, even though it's technically not a business. Just throwing it out.
One thing about the, let's see, row 6. I don't know if selling your company makes you a leader.
Hey,
No, you're saving your jobs. You're not going out of business. You're adapting. You're doing what you have to do.
Yeah, I understand the,
We're jumping into winners here, and we still haven't even.
okay,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Would number 4 under small also qualify as a leader?
Number 4 under small.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah. What about?
It's,
yeah.
A lot of volunteerism there, a lot of
It's true.
community contribution. Someone who attends a lot of events. He's not going to be there though. He told me he couldn't be there. So,
Okay.
what about last year? Excellence in Innovation, Rock Ventures.
Oh, Rock Ventures did, but not
He didn't.
him as a leader.
You guys could be looking at the MOSH, the doctor who's the head of it, whose name is eluding me.
So that's a really nice facility.
Going back to Barbers, which is, what about Zimmerman? I mean, it's not the same as The Rock. This is an individual recommendation.
That's
And
right.
what would your, what would the rationale be?
Pretty visionary, I would
And
say.
a lot of expansion.
A lot of expansion, visionary, and I understand.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, the angry mobs here on this one I don't agree with. And the other one I understand a little bit.
yeah, but
Well, if you
Exactly.
consider the fact that it's just a nomination,
yes, that's true.
it's
Yeah.
just a nomination at this
nomination.
point. Doesn't have to be a winner.
Uh-huh.
It's a nomination. Zimmerman gets nominated, why not have that up there? If Courtney Day gets nominated, or whatever, whoever that person was, gets nominated, I don't believe that we need to eliminate it. They're
I
nominated.
really do like the mosh because it just thing like that. So you had to go.
Is there an individual there
That I don't know, but I do. I mean, now that you spurred that, I mean,
Wheel and
to
Sprocket
Racine, or
is
you'd have to go to
there.
Brookfield,
Exactly,
or you'd have to
yeah.
go
I
to
mean,
Berlin.
Real Sprocket is a part of that as well.
Actually, you know what?
I like that more than I do the listing right above it.
They
honest.
were
were
nominated for
nominated for
Excellence in
innovation.
Innovation in 2019. Not that I think anybody would really remember that. This is a slightly different.
Yeah, plus it's 2 years ago.
You like this one better than the one right above it, Barb?
Plus it's 2 years ago.
You like this one better than the one right above it, Barb?
Uh-huh, I do.
Well, I mean, for those who like wrestling would like the wrestling one. The only problem is I don't know if they did any business this year. The wrestling.
Yeah, I have no
So that would
idea.
be worth looking up. If they did it in this kind of climate, then you gotta give them, that would be
Yeah.
worth looking up. If they did it in this kind of climate, then you gotta give them
I
way
don't
big
think they
kudos.
could. I suspect they could.
I don't think they've been in for a full year, have they?
Let's,
That's privately held too, isn't it?
That's right.
well, it had to be we weren't wearing masks. Well, it had to be we weren't wearing masks then. I think it was before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. We were all
years ago.
here in person.
But he didn't, it wasn't a startup operation at that time either.
That's right, he was expanding, wasn't he?
Yeah, but
New to Franklin.
New to the Franklin. I mean, Wheeled Sprocket, I think. Yeah, but
New to Franklin.
New to the Franklin. I mean, Wheeled Sprocket, I think. Oops, sorry, but it's clearly not a new business either.
Well, within 3 years.
Or the first one.
Yeah, it's within 3 years, so they should
but
still be
in-
up there.
I'm just, yeah, they're new to Franklin, but.
Yeah.
but
They
no
opened
means
in-
New to the world, but.
Yeah.
by
They
no
opened
means
in-
New to the world.
They opened in summer of 19, early summer 19.
So we know these two people
So
are not going to
did they just
be
go away?
there.
Did they just go
Well,
away?
we
Who?
can still leave the names.
The wrestling games?
Oh,
For
I
time
could put it
being.
back in.
I mean,
We
it's a
don't have any
kudo
way
just
of
to be
finding out
nominated.
what they did though between now and making your
And then-
decision.
Where is their place? And, you know,
Well, they were the ones we voted in.
It's on 60th Street in the industrial park.
It's okay.
And they retrofitted it for a wrestling academy. And Ben Askren is a very big deal in the world of wrestling. He was in the Olympics and he's got quite the following, and there were a strong and vocal group of people who were thrilled that he was coming to Franklin. And the
people
EDC
traveled.
had to make a decision as to whether or not they would recommend a park, because the business park allows for those kinds of uses, aka Culver's, daycare, Aurora,
Right.
gymnastics, swimming, and all that
San
stuff.
Diego,
But in the industrial park, it's not a typically allowed use. And so the EDC's recommendation helped pave the way for Plan Commission.
So we were instrumental in saying yes.
Well, why don't we just do our voting and
Yeah, let's do our voting. I think it's time.
Okay, so we have 4 here.
But you
We
don't.
have-
You don't have a name for a mosh leader.
Yeah,
And if we don't know the name of it, then how can they be? There's not
I
a
just-
single one of us who knows the name. Just because we can look it up on.
I know it, I just don't have it memorized. My long-term memory banks can only hold so much.
I understand, but
And that's one of them that eludes me. It's Dr. something.
I bet.
0 for
If
6.
if one of us had broken a leg, we probably would know who it is. But know who it is. But we haven't. Oh, no, by the position orders.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to find it in here.
It says
I'm pretty sure I'm going to find it in here.
find a doctor, but that would be of all of them.
Mm-hmm. Leadership team.
Yeah.
Ascension. I wonder if that's not Ascension. Okay, there. Okay, there. That's of Ascension, not just Mosh.
It'd be easy to get a name.
Yeah, it's on the tip of my tongue. I just.
It'd be easy to get a name.
Yeah, it's on the tip of my tongue. I just.
In lieu of a name, the holding category is.
Yeah, but the only point is, we're supposed to be able to say somebody by a name is a leader because, and by the way, they're known. Some form or fashion, that's all. The organization, some form or fashion, that's all. The organization is different. We should probably throw them into the 10 or the under 10. That would make sense, but not under the leadership category.
I would. Yeah, but I would guess they would go in here.
I think they probably could go over 10.
Yeah, I would.
Could go over 10.
Yeah, I would think.
So that makes sense to me.
So then we'd have 6 here, 4 here, 6 here, and 4 here.
Oh, it'd only be 3 because you wouldn't have the, since nobody knows the leader.
I'm right back where I started from then.
Positions.
Yeah, I know that's. There was, anyway.
I'm
Yeah.
sure there is.
A lot of people know his name, I just don't. But there have been a number of high-level events that have happened involving him that I have not been part of. So, I have not met him in person.
Okay, so the only other one
Here?
yeah, I'm asking like the rest of the group.
I was nominated.
Okay.
There you go. Alright, let's take your votes.
Yep.
And because that is the person who led the mosh to make the decision to form the mosh and to locate at Ballpark Commons in a partnership with Mike at Rock Ventures. So I think it still is valid, even though I don't know the name off the top of my head. But
Okay.
I would hold that. I would hold that to them.
That's fine. Just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay, we're
Yeah,
gonna do this
once
by
we
show of
find out
hands.
who
How do you
that
guys want to do this?
Sure.
Show of hands? Okay, so in group number 1. So all those in favor of number
Can
2.
you only vote for one?
Yeah. Well, I would suggest number
Yeah.
1.
why don't you all vote for?
Yeah. Well, I would suggest number
Yeah.
1.
Why don't you all vote for all of them and see which ones get the most votes?
Okay, whatever.
No.
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 No, let's just
Too
pick
long.
one.
Okay.
Down to
Yeah,
1.
let's just
See
pick
what
one.
happens.
So who's picking this one? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you, and there are 5 choices.
Oh,
so
that could
this will be
awkward.
interesting.
Yeah.
And there are 5 choices.
Oh,
so
that could
this will be
awkward.
interesting.
Yeah.
So do you want to leave this or do you want me to?
Ah, doesn't matter to me.
All right, so all those in favor of number 2, raise your hand.
What is it?
Yeah, number 3.
What is the number? I can't see
It's
the
around.
number 2. Oh, okay. Number. I can't see
It's
the
around.
number 2. Oh, okay.
How's that?
I lost you. Okay, so
Okay, just
All those in favor?
Just a minute, just let me think.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready to vote.
All those in favor of number 2? Oh, I'm sorry, wait. Number 3. All those in favor of number 2? Oh, I'm sorry, wait. Number 3. There were 2 for number 2?
No, we're gonna revote number, ask for number 2 again.
All right, for number 2, raise your hands. Okay, got it. Well, then we don't need to go any further, right? Well, then we don't need to go any further, right?
Yeah, I think you know.
There's only 5 votes.
Right.
You get to vote,
Do
Kelly?
you guys want to leave this one in here?
Sure. It's a nice hello.
As a nominee?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
did anybody have any questions about this one? This is the company that just is in the process of a significant amount of money and job creation, which I don't remember off the top of my head, but they're basically doubling their facility size. They have an 80,000 and
I think we voted.
okay.
Voted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we can wait probably by next year when they're finished
Yeah.
with their expansion would be good.
So 3 of 5 wins, guys. Okay, let's go to the
Okay.
next one, Small.
All right.
All right, in the small category, number, you moved. All right, no, that's, number, so in small number 2, show your hands, please. Okay, so, number 3. Number 4 and number 5. Okay, so
Oh, you can't vote at all. I just figured you couldn't
no,
vote
wait,
for yourself.
there
How
were
come
there
we
were
got
3 on the
rivals?
last
There were
one.
3.
Kelly?
Because he didn't vote at all.
No, there were 3.
No, 3 voted for the last
3
one.
voted, 3 out of 5. The other one was done, but
But 2 voted
Okay,
for
I thought I
Harry's.
just saw 2 hands. Sorry.
Okay, do
Did-
we
No,
cause for
wrong.
revote?
We had 2 votes for
All right.
Harry's.
I don't know where I'm supposed to. I
2
thought,
votes.
Yeah, that's
Victory
what I thought.
Creek,
Yes.
and
who
then
voted for Victory
had 2
Creek?
votes.
Yeah.
He didn't vote. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 votes. A 5th did not vote
So
at
then
all.
it's-
Who voted for the first
So
one?
then, yeah, here.
I voted for,
Harry's Hardware, Victory Creek. No, Victory Creek,
Yes.
Harry's Hardware.
No,
I didn't vote for it.
no.
I didn't vote for it.
what did you
First
No,
one.
3
Did you
for
vote?
3 for victory.
Who
1
voted for
Harry.
Harry's Hardware? Can I see hands again, please? 2. Thank you. And Victory Creek Accounting? 2.
Well, you can't vote twice.
Yeah, what have we?
Wait a minute.
You're so.
You're messing.
Harry's Hardware. 2 hands need to
You only
go
get to
up.
vote once.
Okay,
Those 2.
You're messing.
Harry's Hardware. 2 hands need to
You
go
only get to
up.
vote once.
okay.
Those
You
2.
can only vote once,
Then
okay,
Yes.
who voted for Victory Creek Accounting? 2 votes.
okay.
Okay, so we're still.
Okay, so put it as a tie for now. Huh?
I ordered 4 awards.
Yeah, well, I think we need.
Let
one,
us let
right?
it percolate.
4 awards.
Yeah, well, I think we need.
Let
one,
us let
right?
it percolate a little bit.
Okay.
I'll still offer an alternative.
Go ahead.
Okay.
What's your alternative?
I thought Victory Creek and what's been happening with that particular nomination has been involved with the community, is a leader in that respect, especially with the chamber and all that, those kind of activities show leadership to me.
So
Okay.
are you changing your vote?
No,
So
I'm
it-
just suggesting that might be a category also.
Yeah.
No,
So
I'm
it-
just suggesting that might be a category also.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about the conflict of interest on that one because it's one person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas
kind
as
of
a
am
business,
too.
I think it's.
But
Well, we're asking for a leader.
Yeah, but we're also
Your
talking
business
about.
isn't just one person. You have several employees, don't you?
Yeah.
How many employees do you have? Like 5?
13.
13?
But a
That's
leader
more than Harry's Hardware, I
is-
bet.
Well,
Yeah, I got you,
it's-
but
Yeah.
his
Right,
firm
right.
donated their time, effort, money without any regard. That's why I said it's the company, if you will. So let's keep going.
Yeah.
We'll come back. Since we don't know, we're going with new companies, yes? So number 2, show of hands.
Also that.
So
Is
we
that
got
3 or
one,
is
two-
that 4?
It's 4.
4? Okay, we're done.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't have. I wasn't voting for that.
3.
It was just up there. by show of hands. I was showing you to raise your hands. It doesn't matter.
for the
It wins.
instructions.
Step on it by a
Take
show
you
of
to-
hands, not
Take
me.
you to an auction.
All right, let's go to leaders.
All right. So we really can't vote for much since we don't have any idea who that is. Tom Schultz.
Wait a minute. Do you guys want to vote on? Shouldn't even be in the list.
No, they've been nominated.
Well, no, there is no name. It's supposed to be a name.
Well, we're gonna
But
find
I
them.
will have a name.
That's the understanding.
I just don't have it memorized.
But you know what, if the person is a leader in the community, we would all know their name.
Yep. Just like we know Zimmerman. Yeah, I know everybody knows their name. All right, so that said, number 3, show of hands. Mine is up.
I'd go with that too.
Okay,
Okay.
All right, so we're
I'll
done.
go on the whistle.
Okay, you know he's not going to be there.
Just,
Who cares?
well,
I'm
Okay.
good.
he can
Who
send his
cares?
avatar.
There's
With our, yeah, it's done. 4.
Yeah.
And the number 3 you said.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what we
number
did.
three,
Oh,
the
that
level
way,
red.
okay.
Yeah,
That
that
way.
one.
I thought it was a third entity in the category.
No.
So do you guys want this taken away and not considered?
No, now leave it for sure.
Let's
Since
re-vote
it's-
it then,
Yeah.
I didn't have an understanding.
Okay, so let's go back to the critical
Oh.
small.
No,
you want the leader category?
You don't want to vote?
Doesn't matter because if
I'm
you
rescinding my vote.
So it's fine,
It's still 3.
It's still
Still
majority
3.
rules are
Actually,
5.
did you vote for that one?
No, I didn't vote for it, but it doesn't matter. You
Doesn't
still
matter.
had 3
Three.
people.
Three
You're
votes.
done.
He
It's
just
over.
won one.
Huh? No, he didn't
no.
win anything.
Crohn's won.
No.
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 Crohn's
They
was
haven't won.
nominated for excellence in innovation and leadership in 2019, but they
And
have not
18.
been a winner.
Oh, okay.
They
time.
might have been a winner in 16,
No, it's further back than that.
and it wouldn't matter
Yeah.
because we have a 3-year,
Yeah,
right?
well,
So,
it wasn't
right.
because, yeah.
Doesn't.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So, that said, small. We want to have some discussion as to why we select the ones we've got. So, I can defend Victory. Does anybody want to explain Harry's?
For me, they've been in the community a long time. They're stable. They've been an anchor for that whole subdivision over there. That has been just thing. I mean, everybody knows who they are, what they do, and they go there, and
And they always know that they will find Harry there.
yeah,
It's a very
personal
well-known,
business to him.
established.
So,
His
but
wife
I
or him, he and his wife are the only.
community other than run their business and make money.
They've just been a stable element in the community
I got
and
you.
an anchor to
I
that
think they also
subdivision.
sponsor some of the baseball
Baseball and
teams.
stuff like that,
I
little
see
leagues.
pictures of baseball, little leagues and whatever. So they, are sponsors that way.
Okay? Now my discussion.
That way.
Okay. Now my discussion on Victory Creek. Victory Creek has been an integral part of the chamber and this community, donating their time, and not just of the owner, but of the staff. So I mean that's coming out of their pocket, the staff. So I mean that's coming out of their pocket for the sake of the community, as well as being an instrumental part of growing business and that kind of stuff. And in fact, in many cases, helps businesses within the Franklin community. That would be my rationale for why Victory Creek. My rationale for why Victory Creek.
Other than the chamber, where else is the financial support?
Well, there's none from the other. If that's
No,
what
I'm
you're saying.
asking about Victory Creek, because you're using that's your
Yeah, well,
rationale.
okay, so to that standpoint.
I'm asking about Victory Creek, because you're using that's your
Yeah, well,
rationale.
okay, so to that standpoint, it's not just monetary, but it's also time. Victory Creek is everywhere. Any event, Victory Creek has, people showing up. And Victory Creek showing up is Tim.
Mm-hmm.
But I people showing up. And Victory Creek showing up is Tim.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we talk about just about any event, whether it be, a civic one like 4th of July, any kind of major parade, any kind of those things, Victory Creek is there. The fact that you mentioned Harry, I've never met Harry. I haven't met his wife. Events too. So, I don't know them. Yes? I mean, so let me ask you, what has Harry done that you're aware of?
Well, as Mike said, he's been a very stable part of this community for a long time, 30 plus years, I think. At least.
Okay, but
That I'm not sure, because I don't go to all the events either, to be honest with you.
okay.
Yeah.
Most people in this community know Harry.
Okay.
When you need to get a,
I'm not
Not
bashing,
vote,
he's probably a
whatever.
great guy. I'm just saying.
and he's hung on for a long time. He's
Okay.
hung on.
Competitive environment?
Competitive environment and landlord that maybe, hasn't been supportive. He really has been this.
It's a competitive
really-
environment. It's amazing that anyone that size can compete.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
been he has stabilized that shopping center
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, he really.
If you put it in terms of community and the sport, I know he at least opens himself up to some support, doing some things in the community, but I think Victory Creek does more in that sense for the overall, in the chamber and things like that, or reassess my vote at this point. I nominated the first instance, and that's why at least I held my vote for the first go around, because that was my nomination. But I'd be willing to reconsider it on a revote.
Okay, so let's revote. All those for 2 within small? All right, all those for 5, 5 within small. Okay,
Okay.
any more? Any more? Are we done? Do I have
We
a-
are done.
Except I'd like to still see the name of the mosh.
Yeah, I would too.
Mm-hmm.
I would too. I mean, I think the fact is,
Yeah,
it's
I'll
recognized.
get it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I should have.
No, it's,
I didn't think of it in advance. I really tried to. Sorry,
Yeah.
I should have.
no, it's,
I didn't think of it in advance. I really tried to add some stuff here so you guys would have some meat to chew on, and it didn't occur to me until tonight. So.
And in my just as my thought, as far as I know, Victory Creek has represented Franklin very well.
Yes,
And that creek has represented Franklin very well.
yes.
And that wasn't said. So that's another reason why
Yeah, I think so too.
I think that goes into the mix.
Yeah.
Are there any nominations here that we want to eliminate? Or do you want to leave all of those nominations up there? That we want to eliminate? Or do you want to leave all of those nominations up there?
I have no problem with any of them.
I like
Okay.
them all because it says, hey, we recognize you within the community.
Uh-huh.
I don't think
Okay.
there's a downside. Well, the only downside is
In this,
no, there is none, because you can continuously be nominated. There is none, because you can continuously be nominated. Yeah, go ahead.
the only thing I'm kind of leaning to the leader category again. And rather than, I know it's a name, but with the,
That was my thought.
Sure has been.
so I would hold it as the Franklin Health Department as just a nominee, because they're on the forefront of this whole COVID thing from the city
But
perspective.
leader needs to be a name. So are you
Does
okay
it
with
have-
Courtney?
Does it have to be
Yeah.
a name, or is the name the Franklin Health Department?
well, it's a,
I like your thought, which is they,
Yeah,
as a group, were a leader.
yeah.
I don't.
And if that's the case, you can say the same thing for the Mosh, because it's a conglomerate of doctors who own this practice together. So, either both don't require a leader's name, or they have a strong feeling one way or the other.
Well, okay, he makes a point, which is if it's under the leader, maybe it should. I don't have a problem with how strong do you feel?
Well, one, it's a government entity and
That's
it's not a
true, too.
business, and this is a business appreciation event. So
Yeah.
I'm opposed to it in that regard. And then we just talked to
I agree.
Okay?
Okay, do I have a motion to close?
To close what?
No,
The
next
nominees.
The
voting.
nominees?
Oh, the
Okay.
Yeah, nominee.
All right.
Do I have a second?
Second, well, you can't make a motion. Yeah, I can.
No, he made the motion.
Oh, I
Yeah,
seconded
you
it.
second.
I second.
And winners.
Yes.
That's your motion. And can you make that motion when he is one of the
Oh.
winners? I think you need to
Well, maybe I
abstain from
can't.
this vote
All right.
altogether.
Okay. Yes,
I'll make the motion.
all right.
Okay.
I will second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Rob, you seconded that?
I did.
Okay,
So moved.
okay. All right, so the rest of this is fun, actually. You guys did the hard work. Thank you. So far, we have, five sponsors. You can see them here. I believe Bear Development is coming in. Crohn's is coming in for the dessert bar. I haven't quantified that yet, but it's probably going to be somewhere between $1 and $2 grand, depending on how many people we have, because that's $1 and $2 grand, depending on how many people we have, because that's going to be based on Tuckaway's menu is like it covers a number of people.
Yeah, like a head.
So the more people that come, the more expensive that's going to be. I'm going to just put a number on it and call it good, and if it's a little over, a little under, so be it. Point after, and call it good, and if it's a little over, a little under, so be it. Point after, I'm not sure they had inquired, but now they've signed up through Eventbrite, so I think they probably decided not to. But still, assuming that this comes in at like this, and this comes in at like this, comes in at like this, and this comes in at like this, we way more than covered the expenses. So if you look at the costs, I did not do a print mailing this year. No one's doing print mailings. I thought it was time to join the 21st century.
Fair enough.
The awards would be about $285. We could even go up to $3 just to, we're not taxable. Certificates and name tags. The food will be around this. It was like $5,800 in 2018. And we had about 120 that I set up the menu for. And then the facilities is probably about another 1,500 with their fees and the other things that they put in there. And then we have on Eventbrite, we have, since we've been in the meeting,
So far we have 56 people.
so far we have 56 people, and then on here, yeah, not bad for 2 weeks out, because I expect in the next week it's gonna double inflow. And each of the sponsors, I've said, so each of them I'm encouraging to bring 2 people, so I don't have names for some of this stuff yet. Wallback Group is Payne and Dolan. So
Thank you. I was wondering who that
it's
was.
the umbrella group for Payne and Dolan. So they're actually like, they do construction and development, and then staff is in here, and elected officials, and so we've got about 56. We've got about 28 folks that I'm expecting in that regard. So we are at about 84 right now.
And I'm assuming that even the winners and the not correct.
Yes. Unless you guys elect something different.
No.
With all those nominees, I don't think we can afford it.
No, I think they're okay on paying.
Okay, so that's that. And then I am building what I hope to be will be a giant, and I'll have it on a table, either the registration table or very close by, that will acknowledge the Franklin businesses that contribute to this swag bag. I want Missy Hughes to take this stuff back, put it on her desk, and then every time somebody comes in and goes, oh, that's a cool mug. Oh, yeah. I was the keynote speaker for the Franklin Business Pre going on. When we want to get a grant or something like that, I'm hoping that brand recognition will help us in the long run. So we got the 4 bobbleheads, and then the cowbell, also all from the Milkmen. And if you look at the base of the 4 bobbleheads, it creates the state of Wisconsin.
I think that's okay.
So in the boxes, but I want to make sure that Missy knows that, so she doesn't go back and give them out, to her staff.
Oh, sure.
Karma is going to do some kind of gift to also put in the swag bag, and is going to provide something for every attendee. Beef Jerky Outlet is also going to, but something, either for the swag bag or for the attendees, or both.
Good.
And then Gift of Wings donated a kite. And the Conservancy is making a donation. I don't know what it is. And the Polish Center is making a donation.
Is Tuckaway doing anything?
Anything in terms of...
Donation of some kind.
Are you a member?
No,
Yeah. No.
no.
So, there's two different potential avenues with the event. So the swag bag will also represent, and hopefully, I don't know if the mayor's going to be there that night. He might have to be out of town. In which case, I'm happy to kick it off and then pass it over to you for the. Award ceremony. I'm assuming you would like to MC that again.
Love to, sure.
Okay. And so at some point, whoever is doing the speaking, we need to acknowledge the people who donated to the swag bag for Missy Hughes. And the mayor, And the mayor would like me to also get her something nice, like something that's, I don't know, like a clock with the map of Franklin or
Who's
coasters
this?
or something.
Missy Hughes.
Steve Olson.
Missy Olson.
Oh,
Missy Hughes is or something.
Missy Hughes.
Steve Olson.
Missy Olson.
oh.
Missy Hughes is the Secretary and CEO of the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. So,
Okay, got that.
Yeah.
But in terms of going back to the city, if the mayor can't make it, Sherry Hanneman is there, and she's council president now.
yes, yes,
She's council president now,
yes, yes. And Sherry will be there.
so she
So
might
that's a
be
very
able
good
to-
point. Yes,
might be able
yes.
to-
It would be very good to have a dignitary kick off the event.
Yeah. If
Absolutely.
the mayor can, Sherry,
Yeah, yeah.
or the city administrator, Peggy. I don't know which one.
Well, I mean, I can do it.
Yeah.
I prefer to do it because I had very little opportunity to interact with a lot of the businesses that will be
Okay.
there,
I'm
and
not
it's important for
excluding you,
me
I'm just
to,
saying that,
yeah,
you know, if that
that they
was-
can put a name to a face.
So
I will have a speaking part for myself of some
Okay,
kind,
then-
like I've done in the past, but probably more like just
Welcome to
passing
the
it over
city.
to, yeah. Here's.
Sherry.
So anyway, if you know, and Dash Medical Gloves are going to provide gloves, so everybody will walk out with some Dash Medical Gloves.
Okay.
It's like
If
coffee,
you,
yeah.
you're all welcome to pound the pavement on this. So I just don't want coupons. I don't want anything that's going to force Missy to have to come back here to take advantage of it. I want physical, tangible, create conversation. Or
Usually
conversely,
these kind, I don't know. Have we ever done like a raffle for a prize?
Beef Jerky Outlet. That's one of the things that we talked about maybe doing. That they would donate like a
Raffle kind of.
yeah,
for
and then
everybody.
we do a business card in a bowl kind of thing,
Yeah.
and then we draw at the end of the night.
We need, that's kind of like a fun thing.
A wine basket.
That would be fantastic. I don't want to go too far with it though, because I don't want to dilute it from the purpose. With Beef Jerky Outlet, they're a business in. I'm thinking they don't want to do the one-to-many. It's just too much. So a raffle makes a lot of sense for them.
Sure.
Or I'd also suggested maybe they could put coupons out on the registration table, and attendees who are interested could take one on their way in or out.
A round of golf from Tuckaway.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
Maybe you should talk to them.
That is absolutely a great idea.
Yeah.
To my little list.
Right.
I think I mean, I've never checked it out, but I think Tuckaway is in my district.
Nice.
Very
Well, then you
close.
should get after this big fella. They seem to be a little bit of a laggard here.
What?
Yeah, come spend some money with.
It costs nothing, you know.
Okay, so then the one more thing is,
By the way, nice job, Callie.
oh,
That's
thank
a lot
you.
of work.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
Yeah, sure.
I have a bit of a background in event planning. I've
Yeah, but you still had to knock on
Produced
the doors and do the things. so
pretty
thank
big-
you.
We'll have to do all of it.
craft
Sure.
beverage festival and generators, but it's a basic same concept.
We got
This
Jones.
is more fun. believe
I
it.
don't think that this menu is actually the one that we ended up with. I think we ended up.
That was
I
last
don't
time,
remember
wasn't
the mashed
That was last
potato
time.
bar. Did we have that in 2018? You really wanted it, and I had to pull it for some reason. You were
Yeah.
very sad. So I
I
think
just, that was
was
pure. Do I look like I need a
Oh.
potato bar?
I don't need that. So this is the appetizer menu, and last time we were there, they didn't bring out the food fast enough, and people thought that it was a fill your plate and sit down, and that wasn't what we wanted. We wanted people up mixing and mingling with a chicken wing in their hand and a meat.
happen.
It didn't happen. So this year, they will have the food out by 5 p.m.
Oh,
Period. And then as people come in at the registration table, we will, excuse me, give them that message that it's, grab some food, walk around, mix and mingle. We don't have reserved seating. You can sit anywhere you like.
mm-hmm.
We're not sitting until we're calling the formal piece to order at 6 p.m.
Are we going to have some of those, what they call high top tables?
Yeah.
Because that increases the moving of
It's only
around.
it's the challenge of having a drink and plates and
So maybe.
challenge of having a drink and plates and
So maybe. They fit either 8 to 10 people per table. If we end up with 200 attendees, we won't have the room. If we have less attendees, I can talk to her about some kind of a, quasi attendees. I can talk to her about some kind of a, quasi, or we can just go all high tops if you think that the people who are there would be comfortable standing for an hour from 6 to 7 during all the formal stuff. I think people would want to sit down personally.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we can do both, but even if we just have the tables, you can be personally.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we can do both, but even if we just have the tables, you can be talking to somebody and set your stuff down behind you while you're chatting with someone. So
What do these dollars represent?
Per
I mean, how many
dozen.
pot
these are
stickers
per-
do you get for $20?
that is for two. You get 2 dozen. So
$20.
that is for two. That you get 2 dozen. So I tell her how many people are coming, and she tells me how many I need of
Oh,
everything.
is that, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's-
they know.
These are priced per dozen. Minimum order is 2 dozen, so.
Okay, got it, now I got it.
So, and that's pretty cheap, but if she tells me if she tells me that serves like
Then
6
we have to
people,
decide which ones we want now?
no.
No, okay.
You certainly don't
Yes,
have to.
done.
If this is an opportunity, if you have something you'd really like to see offered that evening, please tell me, and I will make sure that it gets into the mix.
Did I see raw beef?
There's rare tuna canapes.
Ooh, now that's.
Socially,
There's
I
the one
mean,
request,
politically incorrect.
last time when we did that, their
Maybe Strauss would
PA
contribute.
system was awful.
Yeah, I think the city invested in one, but they have a new person working over there. It used to be Lisa, now it's Anna. She tells me they have a new PA time, and it worked perfectly in a quiet room. And then when we got everybody in the room, that's when we realized that the PA system was overpowered
Yeah.
by the bodies in the room that were absorbing all the sound, and it was terrible. And it wasn't like that when we practiced. So yes, I will make sure that that's either corrected or we bring in a PA system.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like just, the standard hit parade, a couple of hot meats, shrimp, mashed potato bar, a veggie platter, a fruit platter, a cheese platter,
Yeah.
finger food that you can fill up on. You get all 4 basic food groups or however many food, bready and
However many food groups.
it's always changing. I think garlic and onions belong in its own part of the pyramid, but maybe smoked salmon or I don't know.
Yeah.
It kind of
Yeah.
depends on how many people we get and how much everything is going to cost. And I'm going to try to balance this so that we're not spending more than what we're getting back in through Eventbrite and our sponsors. So as long as we're breaking even, I
Because
don't
that's the
care.
idea, is to break even.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can actually spend $5,000 more than all of that because I was given $5,000 in my budget.
And at one time, going back 2 years, we were going to charge. We are charging $25.
And by the way, Mr. Wachter went and signed up with Eventbrite and paid us $25.
That's
I
nice of
forgot
him.
that he was a complimentary
Oh, I
addition.
did know.
If you would like
I was,
the credits,
honestly, when I'm getting ready to go, say, well, I got to do that tomorrow. And then
I can
didn't see
refund
the
you.
complimentary. That's nice. Well, no wonder you bought your way in.
we're attending. I don't think I.
Please don't say that
Yes,
with
you
the
did tell me,
minutes
Rich.
being
I
live.
Number one on the list.
Yeah, I think you're the first one to tell me.
There we go.
So, I'll just provide a nice variety. I think we also did the potato chips and French onion dip last time. We did not do dessert and coffee last time.
And,
If I had found
and
it,
drinks were paid by themselves.
yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
It was suggested that one of our nominees provide the raw beef.
Jeez.
Very quietly, it was
Wah, wah.
suggested.
Cute.
Oh,
Who's bringing
oh, oh.
Who's
Humor,
bringing
a
the
little
ride?
humor.
Yeah.
It took a moment for all of us, yeah.
So anyway, I will make sure there's a nice variety of
wife doesn't
foods
know where
that
I'm
everybody
coming
will
from
have an
either.
opportunity to leave full and not have to worry about going home and having a dinner from leaving this thing. And you know, maybe a carving after attendees. But I will make a very nice spread if there's any special requests.
I trust your culinary instincts.
Yeah.
I too.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty good party
And
planner.
if nothing else,
You'll
we
be happy.
know you're a good
Your
cook too.
culinary instincts.
I am a good
Yes,
cook.
she's a good cook.
I am a good cook.
Nice.
Instincts.
I am a good
Yes,
cook.
she's a good cook.
I am a good cook.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm spoiled on restaurants. They have to be phenomenal before I'm happy. Okay, so
Okay.
that was everything I had on the Business Appreciation Celebration, unless I'm missing anything that you
Yeah,
guys
our next
think
meeting
we
is
need to
not
address.
September
September
27th.
No,
That's
next
tonight.
meeting is October
27th.
No,
That's
next
tonight.
meeting is October.
I am not a clerk. This is not my forte.
We knew.
October.
Well, just consider it a party and you're planning it.
October 25th.
Okay,
Party and you're planning it.
October 25th.
okay.
Just so you all know, I am literally leaving the Tuckaway to go to the airport, and I'm going to Vegas with my
Yeah.
daughter
Welcome to
and
that. There you go.
my sister and my father, and my daughter
Welcome to
and
that. There you go.
my sister and my father, and I will not return until the following Wednesday. I will be responding to email or anything that needs to be addressed while I'm gone in terms of the aftermath of the event.
Do you need any of us to do anything after with the after the event thing?
The event.
Do you need any of us to do anything after with the after the event thing?
I really appreciate you asking. I will likely bring in some of the maps of the TIDS and whatever else I can think of to give people things to look at in the room like we did there in 2018, and then also at the Polish Center in 2019.
Is it, I'll volunteer.
I may ask you to pack up and take any of those types of things in the back of your vehicle,
Fine.
because Gail Olson, who is the administrative assistant for the planning department,
Sure.
the last couple of years she has ran the registration table for me, but she packs up and leaves probably shortly after the formal part of the event begins, so right around 6. So it'll just be me. Tuckaway takes care of everything on site. So hypothetically, once the formal part of the event is over, you can all leave. 7 to 7:30 is kind of wrap up time, one last drink, say goodbye, that sort of thing. Last time we were there, after the formal part ended, I would say, I think you were still there, Steve, to the bitter end, like
Oh,
15
nice.
minutes afterwards. And by bitter end, I mean 15 minutes after it ended, there was like 10 of us left.
Was he standing or was he pulling?
We were all standing.
Still standing.
Get all the display stuff out.
Well, I can't even count on that. Whatever.
Thank you. I will take you up on that. If you can think of anything
I
else
live 3 blocks down.
yeah, you're gonna walk.
Kelly, I'd be happy to have it too. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah, whatever we need
All
to
right.
do to get it done.
So this is the event. If any of you feel that we need to get together again, we can get a special meeting scheduled. If for no other reason than to just do a gut check, and if you don't feel that's necessary, I'm good to go.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Just, how soon does that tape, or does that appear on the website?
Wow.
I actually don't provide the recording to anyone unless somebody requests it through a formal open
Okay.
meetings request.
All right.
At which time I believe there are a number of days, and I think it's like 10. Less
So you're
concerned
about
about.
having the
Yeah, because,
so nobody gets a
right,
heads up on who's the winners are.
right. I'd rather
I'm
that
actually
still
more
be a
concerned
surprise.
about fallout after the event if somebody should disagree with one of your selections and want to be a big stink about it.
Well, that can always happen.
That can always
I
happen.
don't think anybody will ask.
I don't think it's happened.
I don't
before,
think so
has it?
either.
Not in my history.
So really good work tonight, you guys. Thank you. You've given me everything I need to move forward. And if you have anybody who wants to get in on the swag bag, get in on the sponsorship, or get in on somehow marketing or reaching all the individuals, like with Carmex being at every table, Dash Gloves being at every table.
Bag is for Missy, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
got it.
Yeah, and that's going to have its own, it's going to be like a showpiece when people walk in. I want them to stop and look at that and recognize the companies that are participating. And I know we've got other companies, but I'm looking for product. Fantastic, but Missy can't take a piece of it back to her office.
Right.
So if you can think of anybody I've missed,
Okay.
please let me know.
Are we adjourned?
Not yet.
No.
We gotta have a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?